It is a busy afternoon here in South Philadelphia. The Phillies entertain the Boston Red Sox here at Citizens Bank Park. Across the street, the Sixers begin their path to an NBA championship. Today, it's Sundays with Schmidt, the Red Sox and the Phils, as the Phils look to salvage this 3-game series. All right, so the last 7 games have not gone well for the Phillies. They're 1-6 during that span. They've only scored 23 runs. Batting average is basically the same as what it's been the entire year, but the starters' ERA very high. Bullpen ERA is high as well, and the Phillies have not been as clutch in the back end of games. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ruben Amaro Jr. He's going to talk about Zach Wheeler in just a little bit. Mike Schmidt joins us here in the booth as well, and we're going to begin with Schmitty because when we see home runs, we see milestones, we think of the guy that has the most home runs in Phillies history, and last night Rhys Hoskins reached that first big milestone, number 100.
Well, I won't forget mine. It was off John Candelaria back in 1976, and I have that beautiful ball with number 100 written on it in a case in my office. And every time I can look at it, I can think of that moment, just as Rhys can. One of the bright spots over the last, especially the series we're in right now, was Rhys's 100th home run. Here it is, off of Nate Ubaldi yesterday. First pitch, fastball. Well, I think it might have been a little cutter right out over the middle of the plate. He hooked it down the left field line, and who cares? It doesn't say anything about hooking it or hitting it high or hitting it low, a line drive or whatever. It was his 100th home run, and he was a little bit faster than that 5th guy on the list there, me at 472. Rhys got to it in 450 at bats. Yep. I'm not sure. So, but anyway, you get to it, and he'll have many more of those special balls to come in his future. But he needs to get hot. He needs to bring Bryce and the rest of the guys with him. We need to win one today.
Yeah, Bryce is out of the lineup this afternoon for the Phillies. Rhys, though, is back in. That's our Citizen Stats leaders as you look at the numbers there. All right, so that's the offensive end. Now we're going to talk about pitching. Every once in a while, you need a stopper. Yeah. In a big way, the Phillies need Zach Wheeler to be a stopper today.
No question about it, Tom. And he has been absolutely dealing, and they really do need him today. And you'll see it in the highlights how good of an athlete he is. Look at the smooth delivery. He almost reminds me a little bit of Curt Schilling. Look at the athleticism. He can swing the bat. He can field his position. This is what a true ace can do. And he's been doing it with like 63% fastballs. His four-seamer, his sinker. He's just been dominating hitters all over the league right now. He's going to have to mix it up a little bit better against the Boston Red Sox. It's a very good hitting team. There's a breaking ball there. Pryor, great changeup as well. Again, really good athlete. Gets off the mound quickly. He can do a lot of different things. And he has just been absolutely outstanding in this month and at home. I mean, look at the home numbers. He, in his 5 starts, 2-0 record with a 2.02 ERA. And in the month of May, just absolutely dominant with a 1.86 ERA. He has been dealing. They need him to be the ace that he is for the staff tonight.
Yeah, since 2015, only Steven Strasburg has a better earned run average here at Citizens Bank Park than Zach Wheeler. All right, so it's the final day of this 3-game series. Eduardo Rodriguez makes the start for the Red Sox. Now, he has been statistically one of the better pitchers in interleague play over the last several years. And, of course, Wheeler making his 10th start this year. It is a busy day in South Philadelphia. As we said, everybody getting the field ready, getting the stands ready. A lot of sunshine. It's that guy's birthday. There's Hector. We may not see him. Series finale coming up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. By the Toyota Camry, now with available all-wheel drive. Visit your local tri-state Toyota dealer today. And by Independence Blue Cross. Learn more at ibx.com. Back at Citizens Bank Park, the retired number of Michael Jack Schmidt, one of the many that are here at Citizens Bank Park. Michael joins us each and every Sunday here at home. And it brings us to our T-Mobile coverage cam. Look at this, guys. Both of you guys are looking young.
Oh, my goodness.
You talk about valuable with that autograph on there.
Wait a minute, Ruben. You signed it, but you didn't sign it, Michael.
I think I'm going to get him to sign it at some point.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's actually sitting in my living room, that shot. I mean, to be able to give a high five to Mike Schmidt at home plate, I don't know how many times I did it on bat boy, but that was awesome.
Was he a good bat boy, Mike?
I didn't even notice.
See, that's actually a good thing when you don't notice the umpire, you don't notice the bat boy.
If it were today, we'd have a nice little dance and a pat and a high five.
Right. That's a good point.
And a shoulder bump, and
that's right.
Go on for 10 seconds.
Kike Hernandez leads it off, but we are underway at a first pitch at 98 miles an hour, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Hernandez did not play or did not start game 1, but because of the injury to Alex Verdugo, he's getting a chance to play again. He's playing second base today, and Danny Santana is playing center. And quickly it's 0-2.
Yeah, T-Mac, I thought that was a really interesting signing by the Red Sox. I think it was a 2-year deal, and he ended up making a little bit of money, but he was a very valuable player and versatile player for the Dodgers. And he hasn't. It's early in the season right now, but he's a spark plug type of a player, certainly.
Yeah, hitting .256 with 5 home runs. Pops that one up into shallow right field, and it's going to wind up dropping. That was up there for a long time. Brad Miller was fairly deep and kind of froze. The rest of the Red Sox lineup brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Danny Santana is batting second, then Rafael Devers. Christian Vasquez bats cleanup, and Hunter Renfroe will hit fifth. Marwin Gonzalez sixth. The bottom third of Dahlbeck, Cordero, and Rodriguez. No J.D. Martinez in the starting lineup today. No Xander Bogaerts. And we mentioned no Verdugo. And Zach Wheeler, his 10th start of the season, has 1 complete game. A shutout that Andrew Knapp caught earlier this season, and Knapp's behind the plate again. Santana takes a strike. It's 0-1. He's coming out hot, 99 on that 3rd pitch.
4 strikes, 4 pitches.
Or 4th pitch, I should say. Santana has 2 home runs in this series. It's his first series back in the big leagues. He's 2 for 8 overall. 0-2. That's the pitch, Ruben. Do you think he's going to have to use that a little bit more? That and the curveball, the slider and curveball?
And, I think he's just going to have to be able to mix it up here, because this is a pretty good fastball hitting team. These guys are aggressive. They're going to come out swinging, and they're not afraid to make contact and hard contact. We've seen all those power numbers they flip up there, and he's just going to have to be able to command the strike zone, obviously 1, but also be able to mix some pitches up.
No balls and 2 strikes to Santana. Hernandez, 1 stolen base, leads off first. Swing and a miss, 98 miles an hour. 1 away, and the first strikeout for Wheeler.
Wow. Haven't thrown a ball yet.
Yeah, we talked about this in the open. He has an electric fastball. It's one of the best fastballs in all of baseball. And the thing about what he's doing now compared to when he was pitching with the Mets early in his career is he's now commanding it, and he's throwing it for more consistent strikes. And that's the difference for me.
Well, with 1 out and 1 on, Rafael Devers. 8 doubles here in the month of May, and doubles are a big story for the Red Sox. They now have 105, which is first in the big leagues by a wide margin, 15 ahead of Houston and Tampa. They are on pace to obliterate their own franchise record in doubles. It's 373. They've done it twice, but they're on pace for 400 or a little bit more, as Devers took that one off his foot.
Yeah, this is that pretty nasty cutter or slider down and in, and he was trying to jump out there on that fastball, and he took it right off of his shin, and that smarts.
Yeah, you have to take an ice bag home with you. One on the bus, on the plane, one on your leg at night. Taking many ice bag home with me. That throbs, Ruben.
He's going to be feeling for 9.
How about spraying a little, what do they call that stuff they used to spray on?
Oh, yeah. I don't think that they can use that anymore.
Oh, you don't think they can use it?
I don't think it is a legal substance anymore.
Yeah, because you don't see it anymore.
He's probably dying for it right now.
So the manager and the trainer come out, to buy him a little time? Or
I would think so.
Say, how's it feel?
Take a little bit of both.
This is a bad pitch right here. This is the one you pray doesn't throw down and in.
I got to believe that he's going to force him on the inside part of the plate again.
No balls and 1 strike. Devers hitting .279 with 12 home runs, 38 runs batted in. first one out of the strike zone. Time for a Nissan upgrade. Choose Nissan today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And extra base hit leaders. Devers with 26. Shohei Ohtani with 28, who's probably the most remarkable story in baseball this year.
What an athlete.
Two-way athlete who's been somewhat dominant in both levels. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
You know, Chris Bryant's a great story as well. You know, he revamped his entire swing. He went back to a more traditional, trying to stay on top of the ball a little bit more, trying to eliminate some of the loop in his swing, and he's actually put together some really good numbers.
1-2. Wheeler's already got a strikeout. Hernandez being held on by Hoskins at first. Swing and a miss, 98. Devers is the second strikeout victim.
Ruben, to your point on swing playing you were talking about, eventually they're going to have to go to that in their coaching. I mean, they just can't allow major league hitting to go on a decline like it has been. And as you mentioned, Bryant improving himself as a hitter as a result of trying to get on top of the ball, trying to take more of a declining plane to contact. And you have to do that in order to hit the high fastball.
I think there's no question with the velocities that they're firing out there right now. It's just there's only one way to get that barrel to that ball, and it's by starting it at the top of the zone, working down.
Christian Vasquez, the hitter, and he takes strike one. 0-1.
And I don't mean chopping at the ball. I think that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting the barrel on plane longer, as opposed to trying to work under the ball.
Vasquez 5 for his last 13. He's hit in 3 straight games. He had a good game in game 1 of this series. Plawecki caught game 2. Slow roller to second base. Plenty of time for Segura. And the inning is over. 12 pitches for Zach Wheeler and a couple strikeouts. That is a good way to start this Sunday afternoon. On to the bottom of the first. Phillies coming up for the first time. Bottom of the first inning, the Red Sox did get a base hit in their half of the first, but Wheeler was able to kind of dominate his way through. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Gene Segura drops to the number 3 spot. That's because Bryce Harper is not in the lineup here this afternoon. And Segura last 14 games hitting .321 with a couple home runs and an OPS just shy of 900. And they'll face Eduardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez pitching in his 9th game. He's 5-2. The Red Sox are 15-2 in his 17 interleague starts. They've won 14 straight, dating back to April of 2017.
Yeah, Tom, this is a very good left-handed pitcher, dominant at times, but always has been quality. I watched him grow up in Boston when I was coaching there, and 28 years old now. He did not pitch last year because he had myocarditis, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but inflammation of the heart, and he had issues with COVID after he found out. After he got COVID, he found out he had that issue, and he has been throwing strikes better, I think, this year. He's got a 6-to-1 strike to walk ratio, but he's been getting hit around a little bit. He's using the middle of the plate a little bit more. He's got good stuff. I think he's still getting a sea legs from not having pitched last year in 2020.
Well, McCutcheon's got great numbers against him. Kutch is 6 for 8 with a home run. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
6 for 8, you said?
6 for 8.
Pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also walked a couple times. Pops it up. Left side of the infield. It's going to be on the infield grass. And Devers, the third baseman, makes the catch.
And one of the things that the Toronto Blue Jays did, and when in his last outing, they pounced all over him early in the count and pounded him for like 11 hits. I mean, they really got him pretty good. And this is one of those guys, he likes to throw that strike one, so you want to jump on it. And the way the Phillies are striking out right now, you just better not miss that number 1 fastball. They better jump on it. The best way not to strike out, as you know, Schmitty, is to not miss that one that you can hit, right? Hit that first
For sure,
fastball.
not go to 2 strikes.
That's right.
Somebody told me that one time. Hey, man, if you don't go to 2 strikes, you can't strike out.
Easier said than done, isn't it? Odubel Herrera's reached base safely in 11 straight. He's hit in 15 of 17. His average at 260. He's had a good month of May. A little low, according to the home plate umpire.
Yeah, the Phillies have been waiting for somebody to emerge in center field, and really Odubel, he's got the most track record of all the guys that were candidates, and he's actually starting to swing the bat pretty darn well, and do, you know, he's playing well defensively right now. So he's been a little bit of a spark plug for him, even though they haven't been very strong offensively these last couple of weeks.
Just 23 runs for the Phillies in the last 7 games. They're 1-6 during that time. And it's 1-2. Odubel did not heed your advice, Mike. Did not get the count to 2 strikes. For the 1-2. He flares it down the left field line, foul. It's time for Jimmy John's Freaky Fresh Take. And during the on-base streak, he's hitting .351 with an on-base percentage of .444.
Got to change his picture. He doesn't have that those dreadlocks anymore.
He did at the start of his campaign, and he is hit for the 2nd time. So he's on base now 12 games. Cody Bellinger leads with 19 consecutive, but he's on the injured list. In fact, 3 of the top 4 guys in the active streaks are on the injured list.
You know, when I was playing, I wouldn't mind getting hit in the butt with a 2-strike pitch.
I'd
take it all day long.
Absolutely. I'm sprinting down to first.
Thank you.
Not a bad place to get hit.
Well, now here's Segura, 4 for 7 in the series with a long home run, 433 feet in the opener. Inside, 1-0. Segura 328. 304 average against left-handers. The outside corner, right on the outside. It's 1-1.
Rube, when he came to the Phillies, wasn't he one of the hardest hitters in baseball to strike out?
Segura.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And he's always very, very aggressive at the plate. He was a guy that he wouldn't get to 2 strikes because he would swing early in the count. If he got a pitch to hit, he would hit it and make contact. And he always did a pretty good job of using the entire field. That was one thing about Gene Segura that was one of the reasons I think they got him, because as far as being a pure hitter is concerned, he was just one of those guys. They didn't have a lot of those guys at that time.
Yet now he's becoming more patient.
Yeah.
He's not, going after pitches. Not every time, but he's not going after pitches early in counts the way he used to.
Tell you what, he put up a real good at-bat in that final inning last night.
He sure did. 2-2.
Yeah, and that's much needed for a club that's striking out so much. You just need to have guys. Odubel, his last time up, he fouled off a tough pitch, flipped one over there to out of play to left, ended up getting hit by a pitch. But that's what you have to do. You got to battle when you're 2 strikes.
Speaking of that at bat, I saw a hitter with tremendous intensity not to make an out in that at bat, and that's something you'd like to see more of our hitters carry with them every at bat.
Odubel's going. The throw is into center field, and it's backed up by Marwin Gonzalez. A strikeout and a stolen base. 3rd steal of the year for Herrera. Two outs.
Yeah, Tommy was basically going first movement right here, and Vasquez has got a very, very good release. He makes a little bit of a low throw into the runner right here, and I think Herrera would have been safe anyway. An excellent jump. He got it, basically stole it as you typically do on the pitcher there. Literally went on first move. Eddie Rodriguez does not throw the ball to first base very often, and obviously they had that in their scouting report on him.
And I think the fact that Hernandez got a piece of it on the hop is what slowed it up to allow Herrera to stay at second. And now time is called. Rhys Hoskins, the hitter. He's been on base 22 of 24 at home this year, including last night when he hit his 100th career home run.
Rhys does not like to have his routine interrupted by that pitcher. He's been calling timeout with regularity. These Boston pitchers seem to make their start into the windup before he gets himself set.
Yeah, I think he tried to slow Martin Perez a couple of nights ago. He actually did a nice job of like stopping that. I mean, that's one of the important things you can do as a hitter if a guy's really dealing, right, Schmitty? I mean, you're looking at a guy that gets on the mound and fires. You better somehow throw off his rhythm and do something different so he can at least mess him up somehow.
One thing that messes you up as a hitter is when they hold the ball for a long time. They come set with men on base. And I remember Sutcliffe used to do that all the time. He'd sit and hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it. And you got to call timeout. Not a lot of times, the umpire doesn't give you timeout.
One in the dirt, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Uvalde did that a lot last night.
Yes.
He changed his move to the plate. He went quick one time, and he held it one time. Then he went quick the next time. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think about Chase Utley a little bit because Chase is one of those rhythm type hitters, and a lot of pitchers try to do that to him to combat his ability to make good solid contact, and that's changing your cadence is a great way to do it.
1-1 pitch, fouled off to the right to the Hall of Fame club, and it's 1-2.
Well, that wind has switched.
Yeah, it has,
blowing
hasn't it?
Straight from left to right, and it looks like it's starting to come in now a little bit.
Right.
Those flags blowing in or out?
I think they're blowing in right now, I think.
Yeah, they're blowing in.
They were kind of blowing out to right before. I think that's one of the reasons why Brad Miller didn't get to that ball. He was playing very deep. And typically, if you don't play a lot of the outfield, you want to play deeper and try to work in. It makes it a lot easier. It's much, much tougher to go back on the ball.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Hoskins. And it runs high, 2-2. Ruben mentioned the game last time against the Blue Jays for Rodriguez. He allowed 5 runs, 11 hits over 5 innings. In fact, he's allowed 9 runs and 18 hits in his last 2 starts, both losses to the A's and the Blue Jays.
Got a little speck in the eye there that time. Let's keep an eye on these next 2 pitches. We have first base open, and Alec Bohm hitting behind Hoskins today.
Balls, 2 strikes. Shoots it the other way. That's going to roll in right field. A base hit. Herrera's around third, heading for home. And Renfroe, who's one of the best throwers in the league, couldn't get the ball out of his glove. RBI single.
What do you call that, Ruben? A nice piece of hitting?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Yeah, I was wondering if we'd get through the game without saying that, but that was a nice piece of hitting right there with 2 strikes especially. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but it looks pretty in the box score for sure. Reach out and poke that 2-strike, that 2-2 pitch in that big hole over at second base. Take that with that shift.
And that's a nice job. And really, that's something that the Phillies and you'd like to see just happening across the league, and where you try to actually make contact. If you make contact, something actually can happen in the game, and certainly did right there.
I think the other part of it too is the stolen base by Herrera.
Yep.
Phillies are 27 for 30 in stolen base attempts this year. The game has lost its stolen base luster, but the fact that the Phillies have 27 is a pretty good number a quarter of the way through the season in this day and age, and it definitely set up that run there. 1 ball and no strikes to Bohm with a runner at first base. He's 2 for 5 in the series so far. Off the hands. Dahlback will watch it go into the crowd.
You know, based on scouting reports and analytics, the stolen base was not a normal stolen base. It was one that they knew they could take because of stopwatches. They knew he doesn't throw it at first very often. So that was just good preparation pre-game. But if you look at, Ruben, you could probably answer this. If you look at analytics and what it would say about, will you score more often from first, or is it, worth risking the stolen base with Rhys Hoskins hitting, for example? I mean, you might say you'd score more often by staying on first than you would taking a chance of getting thrown out.
Yeah, because he's a power hitter, and that's where I think some of the analytics stuff gets washed away for me, because if he actually gets a base hit, then he still does drive the run in. If he hits a double when he's on first base, then he does drive the run in. I get it. But I'm not sure how much the base hit is valued, and that's part of the problem as well. I think it all kind of works together, unfortunately, and I don't think it works together for the good of the game. I think it works together well when you are, trying to make contact more consistently. I always believe this, and unless somebody can tell me different, if you don't hit it, there's no chance of doing anything.
Right.
Unless I'm missing something.
No, that's true. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw to second base is not in time, to the backside of the bag.
We got another one.
Second stolen base.
Now there's a case where a stolen base is good because Bohm is a hitter that will normally, he'd be a put the ball in play kind of guy, especially with men on base. And although this year I know he's struggling a little bit with strikeouts, but yeah. But with 2 strikes, it's a good time to take a chance. That Bohm gets a start as that bat over.
I love the aggressiveness that Joe's showing right now. I think it's important for them to try to manufacture runs somehow, some way. And I actually love the 2-strike try to steal a base, because if you happen to get thrown out, then it resets the hitter for the next inning. He gets to start off the inning, especially if a guy's really beaten in the count. He gets an opportunity to open up the next inning. And if he's safe, well, look at him. He's in scoring position.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Bohm. And ball 4, Alec Bohm walks. 2 on with 2 outs. And it brings Brad Miller up. The Home Depot getting more done. Brad Miller, over his last 26 games, .324 with 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in.
I was always a believer, too, that a right-hander against a good left-handed pitcher in a 3-2, 2-0, in a count, any count, really, once you get to 2 strikes on you. I don't mind you expanding your hitting zone with a left-hander coming up against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, you want.
Bohm got a walk and all that, but I mean, a ball a couple inches outside, or maybe a little high, or you know what I'm saying? It's.
That's a totally different way of thinking, Mike, and I totally agree with you, because this is a tough at bat for Miller, even though he has been swinging the bat well and has done fairly well against left-handers, and has elevated his numbers. I don't think he was like that in the past, but he's a little bit better this year, obviously. But I agree with you. There's times when you want your guys who are supposed to be like run producers, the RBI guys, to maybe expand the zone a little bit and try to create opportunities.
To that point, I hit a lot of balls hard somewhere, or home runs, doubles, singles that weren't strikes.
Yeah.
Miller's hitting .300 against left-handed pitching this year, 308 overall, and he takes inside 2-0.
No question, Miller's been an amazing player for us this year.
Yeah, it was a very sound pickup to reinforce the bench, but he's played a lot because of all the injuries.
And I got to believe that he's going to be playing a little bit more and more if guys continue to struggle offensively. I think he's going to get more chances. Now, he's not the best defender on the field, but they need offense right now, and they need to score some runs.
Yeah, and I think he could easily fill in at third.
Yep.
If Alec Bohm scuffles. On the inside corner, 3-1. He's in and right today with Bryce Harper getting a day off. He's played a lot, and His numbers have declined over the last week or so.
I mean, it's no secret. I mean, Harp just haven't been swinging the bat very well, and it's just a good time for him to get a day off, take a break, and get back at it tomorrow.
3-2. Runners will be off with the count 3-2 and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Phillies have a run in on the RBI single by Hoskins. Phillies continue to score runs in the first inning. They have 32 first inning runs now. Runners go. Pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Way back there. Marlon Franchi Cordero going back. It's off the screen. It's a home run. Opposite field home run for Brad Miller. And the Phillies jump out on top 4-0. It hit the screen just to the right of the 329 sign. How about that?
Yeah. How about him taking that walk and letting Miller come up? What a great at bat that was, taking that walk for Miller to get up to home plate. Yeah, he got into 3-2 and just put the ball in play. Who knows where it's going to go? Right down the left field line with the wind blowing in.
I mean, I'll tell you, Schmitty, when with the ball the way it is right now, you do not have to try to make super hard contact. All you got to do is just put the ball in play, and the ball will go. I mean, he hit that against the wind. He didn't crush it, but it got out against the wind here, and the wind probably blowing in, what, 20 miles an hour?
99 home runs now for Brad Miller. He needs 1 for 100. And Andrew Knapp is the hitter. It's no balls and 1 strike.
That's impressive.
I don't think Eduardo Rodriguez, I don't think he's going to complain about that, because that ball is well out at Fenway Park as well.
Oh. Now, let me ask you, would that have been off the wall at Fenway Park?
No, I think it would have gone, because there's typically no wind. There's no wind because of that wall. That ball is probably, he hit it so high that it's probably out of the ballpark.
Knapp rolls it to shortstop. Gonzalez throws him out. Side is retired. The Phillies again with success in the first inning. It started with Rhys Hoskins after Odubel Herrera's stolen base, and then several batters later, Brad Miller goes the other way to give the Phillies a 4-0 lead. Phillies fans, Xfinity Mobile delivers fast nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. Break free from the big three and save with Xfinity Mobile. Guy on the right got it rolling with an RBI single. Guy on the left, he got one the opposite way. Odubel Herrera's stolen base enabled Rhys Hoskins to pick up the RBI. And now as we go to the second, Hunter Renfroe leads it off and takes outside. It's 1-0.
Look, treated to some old-time baseball right there. Putting the ball in the play, stolen bases.
Like it. 2 stolen bases in an inning for the Phillies. Renfroe the other way, foul. Phillies now have 35 runs in the first inning, guys, this year. And 48 home runs in the first inning.
Really?
Overall, no, 48 home runs overall, but a majority of their home runs have come in the first inning.
How about that?
The 1-1 pitch. Low. All right, here we go. Over a quarter of their home runs have come in the first inning. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah. Now they got to do that for 9.
Nice. Over to third. Big hop for Alec Bohm.
There we go. Go get that big hop. Although that was one that pretty much was easy to react to. But good instincts on that ball. I'd like to see Alec just get more confident with his arm. You know, sometimes I think he's lacks a little confidence in throwing the ball to first base.
Why do you think that is, Mike?
I don't know. I think it's reps, in-game reps. He needs
at this level, probably.
Yeah. I mean, you can throw him to first base all you want in batting practice. But that's kind of feel you need to get in the game. You need to have that same relaxed feel that, you know, you can throw it over in a game that same way.
Did you ever get in those throwing ruts at all?
Oh, yeah. You know, you just start to fear failure a little bit over there. Please don't hit it to me.
2 quick outs for Wheeler here in the second.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah, Ruben, I've had my consciences many times said don't hit it to me.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I ended up becoming an outfielder. I had the quote-unquote Steve Sax syndrome. I couldn't make those throws. I just didn't feel confident with them, and that's one of the reasons I moved out. So I can feel for guys who go through that at times. Mine was a little bit more severe than a guy like Alec Bohm or others who have had that issue. But, I mean, I think you make a great point, Mike. Even the best of the best have gone through those issues, and it's just like hitting. You can go into some slumps. You can go into base running slumps. You can go into hitting slumps, obviously, but you know, it's a hard game. It's not easy.
Well, 1 pitch to Dahlbeck. And it's high. One ball.
I always equate things to golf, you know, because that's been my sport for the last 20, 30 years. And putting in golf, you can't really try to make the putt. You just have to roll it. You know what I mean? You have to put a good roll on it and hope it goes in. You can't be results oriented. In throwing, say from third base to first, you just have to let it go without a care, and it'll go right where you want it to go. But as soon as you start forcing it and tightening up a little bit, you know, and dropping down and start to worry about throwing it away, that's when you sidearm it, you throw it in the dirt, you airmail it, because you start to try too hard to throw a strike to first.
Interesting that you said that, because my dad went through that. He moved from being like kind of an outfielder to moving into the infield early in his career as a professional. And he probably made, I don't know, maybe 60 throwing errors one year. My dad was viewed as a very, very good major league shortstop. And one of his coaches back then said, hey, don't worry about it. Keep firing. Don't change your mechanics. Keep firing. You'll finally get the feel for what it's like to throw it in the right spot.
Speaking of throwing in the right spot, Zach Wheeler certainly does to Brian Dahlbeck to pick up his 3rd strikeout. He's retired the last 6. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-0 Phillies. Home run this inning. Watch for the keyword to receive a valuable offer from Giant Food Stores, the official grocery store of the Phillies. Phillies had a home run in the first inning, a 3-run shot by Brad Miller against Eduardo Rodriguez. And now Rodriguez will face Torreyes, Zach Wheeler, and then the top of the order again for the Phillies here in the second. Torreyes fouls the first one back, 0-1.
Real nice job by Zach Wheeler getting that shutdown inning right out of the chute, getting that 4 runs, and he gets that, throws up that 0 and quickly last inning.
He had 11 pitches. Torreyes swing and a miss, 0-2. Torreyes getting a little bit more playing time against left-handers, even though Maton's numbers are excellent against lefties. In fact, on this homestand, he's 5 for 9. 0-2 pitch.
This is as aggressive a right-handed hitter on fastballs as I've seen in a long time. He sees fastball, he's hacking. And he can get on top of one,
too. He can hit it, too, yeah. But he's short to the ball. You know, I mean, he's short and quick to the ball. There's it's not a long, languid move at all. It's short, quick, and down to contact. Pesky.
Ball and 2 strikes to him.
That means one thing, which is the most important thing in hitting. You can wait longer. Right? The longer you can wait and still hit the ball, the more you can lay off bad stuff.
Popped up.
Blow in.
Phillies on deck circle. And Vasquez rolls right over top of the weight in the on-deck circle to make the catch. And Wheeler's coming up. We can't wait to welcome you all back to Citizens Bank Park. Seating capacity beginning June 12th will be 100%. Tickets for this series and all remaining 2021 home games will go on sale full board in 2 days, May 25th. Visit Phillies.com to view ticket availability.
Cannot wait for that to happen, for them to open it all the way up. It already changed. I mean, the atmosphere is so different now than it was last year, obviously, but so neat to have people in the stands and to have them react and enjoy the game, and just as it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's even different with the extra 5,000 that are here for this series. It's about 5,000. 0-2. Wheeler has no idea where the ball went. Went down the left field line over the Red Sox dugout on an angle. And now the 0-2 pitch from Rodriguez. Across the street where the Sixers are playing the Wizards at this moment. About 12,000 that'll be there for that one. Sixers trail it by 5 in the second quarter. Outside 1-2. One-two pitch. Down the left field line, out of play. Cordero gives it a look.
A lot of pitchers would have been out by now.
No question. And for him just to stand in the at-bat and to make Rodriguez work, I mean, that piles up that pitch count.
Yeah, he's already at 45 pitches, and there's one out in the second. Ball foul. Spoils another one.
He's always been a good hitter, right, Rube? When you were the Mets, he's a good hitter.
Yeah, and that entire staff was a real good. I mean, DeGrom swung the bat well. Noah Syndergaard as well. All left-handed hitters, and they could swing it. And they, had this, this competition between the three of them. They were not outs. They're automatic.
Inside 3-2.
Oh, this is bad. Is he throwing 8 pitches now?
This will be the 9th.
Yeah.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Wheeler.
Oh, he couldn't hang on.
Second strikeout for Rodriguez. And back to the top of the order. W.B. Mason's What a Bargain. Reopening your workplace. Shop a huge inventory of discount furniture and products to keep your employees safe. Drive on down or visit whatabargain.com today.
Mike, when I think of aces, I think of guys who did like all those things really well, right?
Yep.
Lefty Carlton could do it. A guy like Steve Rogers could, handle the bat a little bit. There's some of the other guys, but I mean, you look at this. Greg Maddux handles the bat well.
Definitely.
Or handle it well. Glavine was a good hitter.
What about Rick Rhoden?
Rick Rhoden could rake. Like to have his swing. But when you think about like those guys who are real aces, a lot of them were also, I mean, they're good athletes, could also really handle the bat.
Outside 2-0.
Well, Cole Hamels handled the bat pretty well.
Low expectations.
Yeah, that's true. And even Smoltz swung the bat well. I mean,
Those guys had that same kind of competition.
Oh, they sure did.
Well, not a lot of pitchers really care about being good hitters. They may say they do, but they don't. They don't sort of like work on it and try to understand the difference in that little soft toss BP they take every now and then before the game and what it takes to hit in the game.
But they really should understand that just them putting together decent at-bats will help them win a game. That can help them. Bunting well, being able to move a runner, all those little things, just handling the bat a little bit.
We've bunted well this year, the Phillies. As you know, from where I've been watching, I thought we've got a lot of good sacrifice bunts down this year.
Fouled away, and it's 3-2.
I know Nola has.
Yeah, Nola takes it seriously.
He gets a few more at bats than some other guys.
Yeah. You don't mind when your starting pitcher's going 0 for 4. That's a good sign.
3-2 pitch coming to McCutcheon. Swing and a miss. Threw him a changeup.
If your starter goes 0 for 4, you probably won.
Yeah. That's right.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Rodriguez. We're on to the third. Phillies up 4-0. Reliable performer is Zach Wheeler. All right, so 19 starts at Citizens Bank Park. 9-1 record, a 2.59 earned run average.
I think he's actually got a whip that's under 1.
Boy, he has been excellent.
Not too many base runners out there.
Yeah, overall for starting pitchers, his ERA is second behind Strasburg during that span. And he's in the top 10 in wins here at Citizens Bank Park during his career for visiting pitchers and, you know, now hometown pitchers. Cordero leads it off. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Cordero 174 on the year. You see the comparison between the two pitchers, and right now there is no comparison.
No, there is not. I mean, so efficient, just firing strikes and getting quick outs.
The 0-2 pitch. Got a piece to stay alive. On the out-of-town scoreboard, the Braves have jumped out to a 3-1 lead thanks to Austin Riley's home run. He's got 8 now, and he's been on fire.
In like 3 in 2 days, doesn't it?
Sounds that way, yeah. Multi-home run game on Friday. 1-2.
That's all they need is another stud in the middle of that batting order.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's been red hot since his career-long hitless streak.
Well, you weren't going to hold him down for long.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4.
And during that Freeman streak, for some reason, he didn't look all that worried about it.
No.
I don't think he was.
We were in the middle of a lot of that. You know,
that's true. That is true. And then he started to come out of it against the Phils.
I think it was the last game of the last Atlanta series down there when he started to pop out of it.
Rodriguez makes contact, which is his dugout's going to love.
Pretty normal when teams come to the National League to play, interleague play, where the pitchers get a lot of laughs and attention when they attempt to hit.
Yeah, Alex Cora was asked the other day if he thought that Rodriguez, who's 0 for 20 with a run scored and 3 sack bunts, if he had any chance of getting a hit. And he said, honestly, I don't think so.
Well, he was being honest.
He was being honest.
Yeah. I've seen some of Eddie's hacks even as a younger player, and they were very similar.
Curveball, that's unfair. 5 Ks.
Well, he's got to work on it every now and then. He has to throw it.
It's true. 3 straight strikeouts for Wheeler. And with 2 outs, we're back to the top of the order for the Red Sox.
He actually made a really good point there, Schmitty, because he had not thrown a lot of breaking balls. He's got to get a feel for it and be able to throw it.
I wasn't kidding. I was make a good point. I mean, might as well flip a couple curveballs up here to, you know, see how they feel.
And they were pretty darn good. Pretty good bite to him. And he may have to break out. So far, he's been so smooth and easy with his delivery, and his ball's been exploding out of his hand. He really hasn't had to go to those pitches yet, but he probably will at some point.
Off the hands of Hernandez, who looped a single his last time up.
So they have Kiki Hernandez as a guy that would pull. His trending would be to pull to the shortstop side.
Toward the hole, yeah. That's why Torreyes is shaded over there. Phillies do, I think you may have heard this on the telecast last night. They're toward the bottom of shifting.
Yeah.
As far as baseball goes, which is a total 180 from a couple of years ago. Breaking ball at a 22.
That's what a hitter looks like when Wheeler's established that fastball to almost be unhittable so far. He threw that bender up there and the hitter's knees buckled.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Hernandez. Out to right field. Miller goes back this time and makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Zach Wheeler. Pretty comfortable 3 innings so far for Wheeler. He's got a 4-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Philadelphia area local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Pennsylvanians are scratching their way to fun thanks to Pennsylvania Lottery scratch-offs. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Well, with Mike Schmidt and Ruben Amaro, I'm Tom McCarthy. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, Odubel Herrera leads it off.
What do you think of that, Smitty?
After a hug with Christian Vasquez, the
I was waiting
catcher
on
for
a
the Red
kiss.
Sox.
They must be old friends, cousins. Who knows?
It's crazy.
Odubel hit by a pitch his last time.
Oh,
Moves that one to first. Dahlback on the first pitch of the day, first pitch of the inning, retires Herrera. 1 out.
maybe that was we're sorry for hitting you in the rear end.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, really?
What else?
That didn't happen back in your day.
Oh,
Did you give Tony Pena a hug when you that hit?
how about the Reds and the Cardinals with Phillips and Yadier Molina?
Right.
Remember that?
Oh,
when he tried to bang his shin guards or something when he went up there?
And Yadier Molina was not having anything to do with
Right.
that.
no.
And Phillips would do that with everybody. But Yadier, the Reds and the Cardinals, they didn't really get along. They still don't really get along.
No, not too friendly.
That just doesn't look good.
Now I know there was a time when Joe Torre was actually trying to stop that. When I was in GM, that was one of the things that they were trying to stop is that fraternization on the field. And now I think it's just kind of wide open.
All right, so just explain the story, Mike and Ruben. This may have been after before your time. Didn't somebody sort of police it for you guys? Like, is there a whistle and a fine if you would be?
Yeah, at some point in my career, I can't remember when it was, the issue of fraternization came up as Segura grounds out the shortstop. I remember Bruce Fromming one time, and
That's right. The umpires would do it. That's right.
they had to stand out on the field. They stood out like right directly behind home plate in the batting cage, and if two players came together and were talking, they'd scream at them and separate them, and that's basically what they did.
That's so great.
When the term taking to dinner after the
Yeah,
game.
oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
That one all the time.
Taken to dinner.
Right.
That was a common thing to scream.
Here's Hoskins. He singled home a run and scored his first time up. Check swing.
So apparently that's not in play now.
I don't think so, and
No.
I'm not sure. I think that they were going to start to, if I remember right, I think they were going to start to fine people for that, but I'm not sure if, I know there are people getting warned about it. But I mean, when you think about it, you're competing against the other team. I mean, you're not necessarily supposed to be buddies.
Let's bring Bob Gibson into this discussion.
Oh, my goodness gracious. My goodness.
The man was known for hating hitters. He wouldn't talk to a hitter.
Nope.
The meanest guy to ever pitch and one of the nicest men. We lost Bob, this past year, and one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. But his reputation was don't try to talk to him if you're a hitter.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jim Bunning a little bit like that. He ended up being a politician after his career, so he had to be affable to people, right? But when he was on the mound,
it was just a general prevalent attitude back then. The guy's trying to take money off my food off my table.
Right.
If I always believed if you can get comfortable with a pitcher personally, with conversation, a gesture, whatever, if you could feel like he was acknowledging you, and I always thought, well, this
would be to your advantage.
Makes it a little comfortable for me.
Yeah, right.
When you look out there and you yell something at a guy and he won't look at you, or he makes a frown, or he, some kind of gesture made it a little tougher.
That's so funny.
No doubt.
My average was much higher against pitchers that I knew and
got along with. Hoskins draws a walk. Second walk issued by Rodriguez. Last night, Rhys Hoskins hit his 100th home run, the 100th of his career. Got a cutter from Evaldi. He had not allowed a home run. And he hits it just inside the 329 sign on that pole. And this is the 100th home run baseball for Rhys Hoskins. Nice. Got it back last night. Phil Sheridan's doing a little decorating right now as we speak down in the clubhouse. May have been a little bit of a trade. A signed bat for the ball. As Alec Boehm is the hitter. Boehm takes inside and low, 1-0. Boehm walked and scored in the first inning.
I love everything about Alec's approach to hitting. Ruben would like to see more, more of a efficient approach to belt high balls, to belt high fastballs. More of a, I gotta get the head up on this thing. I gotta get the head above it, like we talked earlier in the game. I think it's just a little bit too much of up underneath the ball. Gets away with that when the ball's knee high in the hitting zone, but as the ball comes up a little bit.
Yeah, Mike, I think that they're actually exploiting that a little bit more, and he's seeing a lot more of those pitches, and that's why you're seeing him foul them off a little bit more. He's not quite barreling them up because they're raising the pitches on him, they're raising the strike zone on him.
2 balls and no strikes. Hoskins was going again. He stops.
Now, all right, that swing right there, barrel of the bat under the ball. You take a little bit off the swing. You say that's probably 90 to 95%, almost a max effort swing at a hittable ball. And if he would drop that down to 70, 75% effort and not max effort, that ball would go in play.
And also,
I say if he learns to stroke as opposed to swing. I always say there's a swing and there's a stroke. And all great hitters understand the stroke versus the aggressive overswing.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this earlier about just using your hands a little bit more, getting your hands more involved in the swing as opposed to your body or your arms.
There's another one right there, and this is all with respect to Alex saying this, but it's almost like he's trying to make up for his last 30 at bats in one swing, right? If I crush this ball up to the giant sign out in left center field, all will be forgotten.
I know that feeling.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, we all do.
Yep.
High bouncer out to shortstop. Hoskins retired at second. 6-4 on the put out. Fielder's choice. We're through 3. Phillies, thanks to 4 runs in the first, lead it 4-0 as we go to the 4th. Visit buyatoyota.com to find your 2021 RAV4 Toyota today. Toyota, let's go Phils. Top of the 4th inning, Phillies up 4-0. Scored all 4 runs in the first inning. They have 35 first inning runs this year, second only to the Braves, who have 42. And as we go to the 4th inning, Zach Wheeler will face Danny Santana, Rafael Devers, and Christian Vasquez. First pitch inside, 1-0. Alex Cora talked about Danny Santana with our Geico quote of the day. He said he's a good player, just the way he controls the at-bat. There's no panic in the way he takes pitches. He can drive the ball the other way. He can shoot it the other way with power. Tries to pull that one.
And he's a good versatile player for them. And the fact that he's playing center field, played first base the first night in the series, and now playing center field in this game.
Look at this, 1-2.
I wouldn't want to speed his bat up with some off position like he is. Now we talk about late and clean and all that kind of stuff, but he looks late to me.
Zach's making a lot of people feel in between right now.
Ground ball foul. Threw him a slider. I think somebody dropped the ball or didn't give the ball to the right person. Swing and a miss and a high heater. He's mowed down 6 so far.
And he just has a dominating fastball right now, and he's just blowing it right past him. Gets the fastball up above the swing plane right here, and Santana's got no chance. And just as Mike said, I mean, he's kind of a slow bat, or looked like one. He was behind everything.
And now Devers, he struck out his first time after fouling one off his calf or his shin. He takes just a bit inside. It's 1-0. Yeah, and so much for mixing in sliders and curves for Wheeler.
Doesn't have to.
Well, it is surprising just because of the way these guys have hit. But he's thrown 28 fastballs. Down the left field line. McCutchen on the run toward the line, gets to the spot, makes the catch, 2 outs. And Vasquez, the hitter.
I think it's just such a fluid motion that the ball is just exploding out of his hand. We mentioned Kurt Schilling in the open.
Kurt Schilling's a good call.
Same exact smooth, easy delivery, and that arm comes through so fast, and that creates deception. Talk about deception a lot. That creates deception because you just can't react to how quickly the ball is on you.
Vasquez off his hands. I mean, that was off his knuckles. 0-1.
And they know it's coming because he keeps firing that fastball, and they know it's coming, and they're not getting to it.
Well, Wheeler entered today second in the National League in innings pitched behind Trevor Bauer. He has now slid past Bauer. Bauer started Friday, went 6 1/3 against the Giants. So now Wheeler's leading the league as far as innings go. Came in 9th in strikeouts with 66. So now up to 72. Bauer's number 1 in that category with 88. Ground ball percentage is up among the leaders. Got a couple of ground balls, couple of fly ball outs today. Yeah, the 1-1 pitch to Vasquez. In there, 1-2. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Miami's jumped out to a 5-0 lead over the Mets. Jazz Chisholm, an RBI single.
Pretty good looking young player right there.
He sure is.
He's going to be around for a while. this National League East.
Little left-hander took Alvarado out of here, right?
That was pretty impressive.
Mets lead the Phillies and the Braves by 2.5 games, which seems like a huge lead the way this season's gone.
Right.
What is the rule on pine tar on the barrel of the bat?
I think that he's probably violating the rule right now.
Well, I saw one of the Red Sox hitters last night, and he was squeezing and rubbing his hands on the barrel of the bat with his batting gloves. And I'm thinking there's got to be some pine tar up there, right?
No doubt.
Strike 3 called. 7 strikeouts for Zach Wheeler this afternoon. That's the first one looking. He's retired 12 in a row as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Visit buyatoyota.com to find your 2021 RAV4 Toyota today. Toyota. Let's go Phils. Phillies up 4-0. Brad Miller, Andrew Knapp, Ronald Torreyes to lead it off against Eduardo Rodriguez, who has allowed 4 runs on 2 hits. Bryce Harper, the off day today. And underneath in the cage, taking some swings. Brad Miller's playing right field in his place.
Yeah, one of the dangers that might be happening right now, the Phillies cannot be spectators now. They got to keep adding on. They've got to kind of put the pedal to the metal here and not just think that, you know, this game's over, because it's clearly not. You know, Boston Red Sox can swing the bats, and they may be making some adjustments at some point, and can't rely on Wheeler to be dealing like this the entire game.
Yeah, the Phillies only have 2 hits. They have the 2 hits in the first inning against Rodriguez. That's it.
Yeah, it's not like Rodriguez has dominating stuff right now, and then they have to get back into the flow of trying to get some runs right here.
Out of play. StatCast, powered by Google Cloud, gives us a little different perspective on the home run by Miller. It would have gone out in 18 of the 30 ballparks around Major League Baseball.
And he just put it in play. 2-strike situation, and he put the ball in play, and lo and behold, you got yourself a home run and 3 ribbies.
And the ones that wouldn't have gone out of it have been a double with 2 RBIs.
I would think so,
right,
yeah.
Right.
Unless somebody was going to make a leaping grab.
Right.
Oh, it's pretty close. Just off the outside part of the plate. And it's 3-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. That's the 4th strikeout of the day for Rodriguez.
I actually think that this might have been almost the same exact pitch that he hit a home run on. And I guess maybe he didn't think he was going to get another one of those, like a fastball or in the outer part of the plate, maybe a little bit of a sink type action to it, but not all that dissimilar from the ball he hit out.
Andrew Knapp grounded out his first time. He taps this one foul. Andrew's now 1 for his last 22.
Schmidt, you think guys are guessing more these days than they did, and back when you were playing? You don't.
I sometimes think they don't know what the word guess means when it comes to hitting.
I mean, they have all the information. They have a lot of information about percentages and what they throw 2-2 and what they throw 1-2 and stuff like that. I mean, do you think?
Well,
do you feel like
anticipating a pitch might be a little bit different than guessing. It's hard to say in baseball because it really depends upon the pitcher, your history with a particular pitcher. I had a lot more history with individual pitchers when I played because there wasn't interleague play. There was we faced the same teams more consistently on a regular basis, same pitchers. I might have. Well, I shouldn't say you play the Braves how many times?
19.
19 times. But That would be similar to us, but players move around so much more. But as far as guessing, anticipating, I think there are so many more hittable fastballs taken today than when we played. To me, it's ridiculous.
What about this one right here?
I mean, it's a very good pitch, but it's a strike and it's a fastball. I mean, for me, I could never get off the fastball because I couldn't hit any other pitch. So I had to, if somebody threw me a fastball, I better hit it. I think you're right. I think you're right, Mike. I think guys are taking fastballs that maybe perhaps they're looking for.
I don't mean just nice relaxed fastball strike one. I mean, I don't know what they're doing unless they're doing the old Keith Hernandez where he used to just let him throw one, or Pete Rose just let him throw one. You know how sometimes those guys were such good two-strike hitters, they could just, there's a ball in the short gap in left center. We like this kid, don't we?
I like his aggressiveness and I like his versatility. He's an instinctive player and he's a baseball player. And I like baseball players on the baseball field.
Back to the guessing is the question. If you strike out a whole heck of a lot, you got to swing the bat early. We talked about that earlier. I mean, I don't believe in spotting a pitcher. As good as these guys are today, strike one if you're suspect of striking out a lot. That makes sense. Well, you can't be giving away strikes. Well, I mean, you give away a strike on a breaking ball, nasty breaking ball first pitch, but if you're looking fastball and you identify it right away, you got to let it go. And you got to let it go with a productive swing, not I want to hit it 500 feet swing, and put it in play with line drive effort swing.
Yeah, the only player that I remember like consistently taking first pitch strikes was Chase Utley in the modern era.
He used to
but he had the ability to put bat to ball better than a lot of people in the history of the game. So he had the confidence that he'd be able to make good solid contact. I think Joey Votto might have been one of those guys as well, because they both, I mean, these guys just made contact. They could put the barrel of the ball, and they felt confident in being able to do that.
You just named two guys that had short, compact, quick swings.
No question.
One ball and two strikes. Outside 2-2.
It's interesting that you said that those words, short, compact swing. You don't hear people talk about that all that often. When I think of short, compact swings, I think of Paul Molitor, I think of Chase Utley, I think of
Freddie Freeman.
And Freddie he's short, but he stays on plane so long through the zone. It looks like it's long.
It's compact and quick. That's why he waits so long, gets so many base on balls. Shorter and quicker you are to the ball, the more you're going to get on base, because you're going to lay off of a lot of
you see the ball
pitches that people with big swings swing at.
I think it's Jose Altuve. He reminds me of somebody's got a quick bat or quick compact swing.
How about Barry Bonds?
Oof, the best, maybe the best ever.
2-2. Whacked foul, and it remains 2-2 to Wheeler.
Arguably the greatest home run hitter of all time, had the shortest, quickest, tightest swing ever.
I mean, Greg Luzinski had a real short swing. He was real short to the ball. He was a home run hitter.
It's a good mechanical point to teach. You can teach guys. Pete used to have a pitcher stand like 25 feet from home plate and throw to him.
2-2 is lined the other way. A base hit for Wheeler. Working the count with a second straight at bat. And that puts runners on first and second with two men down. He sheepishly does the little exclamation point. And now it brings the top of the order and Andrew McCutchen to the plate.
Can't tell you how important it is for a guy like a pitcher to be able to make contact and have good at bats. I mean, it turns the lineup over, adds more and more pitches to the pitcher. It gives Andrew McCutchen now. Cut's got a chance to really do some damage with base runners on. I think it's one of those lost arts, and I think pitchers should realize, and I think some of them do, but I think they should realize how important that is as part of the game, especially in the National League, obviously.
McCutcheon pulls it foul. 16 pitches now for Wheeler in his first 2 at-bats today. And that's the 91st pitch overall that Rodriguez just threw. And facing Kutch, who's 0 for 2. He has popped out and struck out. McCutcheon 19 hits, 6 home runs in the month of May. He's behind 0-2.
We were talking about the swings and teaching shorter swings. I just don't know that guys are using their hands to hit as much as they did.
That's a good point. There is more core.
Yeah, a lot of core, a lot of leverage.
More core influence in swings nowadays, and core follows that theory of hands inside the ball. You know, you got to keep your hands inside the ball.
And a strike 3 called. McCutcheon knew it.
And we'll follow up on that core hands inside the ball thing when we get back.
All right, 4 of the Bucks. Phillies still nursing a 4-run lead as we go to the 5th. Phillies are up 4-0 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Time now for a Chick-fil-A nugget. On this day in 1991, Tommy Green pitched the 8th no-hitter in Phillies history, a 2-0 win at Montreal before 88-33. He walked 7 and struck out 10. Here's how it sounded to wrap it up.
Hard ground ball, great grab, Green. It's over. He's pitched a no-hit, no-run game, making the final out himself. Tommy Green, a no-hitter.
And then earlier today, Tommy Green, who is more buff now than he was back then,
Goodness.
throws the ceremonial first pitch. 30-year anniversary of that no-hitter. You know, talking to him about it, that Expos lineup, and you guys know this, Delino DeShields, Marquise Grissom, Andres Galarraga, Larry Walker, Tim Wallach. He threw 130 pitches. He was opposed by Dennis Oil Can Boyd. First pitch swinging for Hunter Renfroe. Foul territory, and Hoskins battling the wind makes a nice grab for the first out. Anyway, Tommy said that he followed it up by facing the Expos at the Vet in his next start. Threw a 3-hit shutout. He said, I pitched better that day than I did because I didn't walk anybody in the second game.
7 walks.
7 walks.
And 10 strikeouts. You think they were worried about pitch counts back then?
No, 130 pitches.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is even low considering he walked 7.
Right.
It wouldn't have happened today.
RBIs by Ricky Jordan and Darren Fletcher in that game for the Phillies. It's always good to see Tommy. He was here at the ballpark throwing out that first pitch.
You're right about Tommy as far as his strength is concerned. He can hit a golf ball probably 400 yards. I mean, it's unbelievable the club head speed he creates.
Matt Andriese is warming up for the Red Sox. Marwin Gonzalez 0 for 1. Inside 1-1. You know, what a shame too that only 8,800 were at that game, and that was the Expos lineup. I mean, Marquise Grissom, Delino DeShields, Andres Galarraga struck out 3 times. Larry Walker. Tim Wallach was, you know, a little older at that time, but was still a good player. You saw that last out that he had.
This is one of the reasons why it's no longer a major league city, although they're really battling to try to get one back, I think. Actually, great city, Montreal.
Great city.
Do you like hitting there, Schmitty?
I was just going to watch. This is the hit. See, he gets his pine tar from up around the
barrel.
The barrel of the bat. Oh yes. I had some memorable games in Montreal.
Did you hit your 500th there?
No.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's Pittsburgh.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tied him up. 98 on the heater. 8 strikeouts for Wheeler. 14 in a row set down. Your Sixers are set to battle the Wizards. They're actually in the at halftime right now, all through the playoffs. Catch pre and post game live before and after every game. And for a full schedule of when you can watch your Sixers with Mark and Alla calling the shots, visit NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com. They're just in the early stages of the third quarter. Across the street, Bobby Dahlbeck struck out his first time. In the zone at 97.
I mean, that ratio of strikes to balls right now, 41 strikes and 12 balls. That's a pretty amazing ratio right there.
Center field, that is well hit. Herrera's going back. The wind is going to bring it back. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. Oh, Mother Nature. Helping the cause. 7 pitches, 15 in a row. It's still 4-0 Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Series against the Phils. It begins Tuesday, June 8th at 7:05. The Fanatic About Reading Night is Wednesday the 9th, and then Throwback Thursday, June 10th at 1:05. Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets.
Feels like they're playing the Braves every other minute.
Well, and the Braves are getting hot.
Yeah.
So those are, I mean, they're always important games anyway. They always have been.
And Rodriguez has settled in a little bit right here, and really good to try to get him out of his rhythm. He's up to 93 pitches. He's got to be tiring a little bit. It's important for the Phillies to try to put a little bit more pressure on him, maybe get some base runners on, steal a base again, and make some things happen.
Herrera fouls it away. Herrera is 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first inning, and then grounded out sharply on the first pitch in his last plate appearance. Bad idea if he can get it down. He has bunted a couple times for hits this year.
A good idea. He doesn't need a perfect strike to bunt that ball. I mean, you might as well do it when you get to catch the guy back.
Which is exactly what Devers was. He was backing away from the bag, like off the line. Outside.
Might try it again. He's still back there. And he's like well off the line. So if he gets it anywhere towards the line, it's going to be safe, even if it's hard.
Foul territory. Devers is going to run out of room. I got to tell you, the wind really helped that Dahlbeck ball because he crushed it. But it's really picking up again. So Bureau warming up in the bullpen. During this 11-game on-base streak, Odubel Herrera's on-base percentage is .444, and he's on again. Taking a big turnaround first. He's going to try to test the arm of Renfroe, and he wins the battle.
You got to see this swing. I can't wait to see the replay of this swing. Look from up here like a high breaking ball, and watch this bat head come down on this ball. There you go. Oh, now we actually missed the swing, but we're getting a look at the hustle. That's good baseball instincts there. He knew the right fielder was deep. Watch his pitch.
Oh. Bing. Great play right there. Just down to the ball. He attacked it short and quick.
He swung at that like he didn't want to lift it.
Really good hustle right there. Typically, it's tough to run on Renfroe. He can really throw, and he was busting right out of the box. That's one of the things that Odubel's been doing pretty darn well the entire season. He's busting it. He's playing pretty hard. 5
outfield assists for Renfroe. In fact, his defensive runs saved among outfielders is one of the best in all of baseball. Segura thought about a bunt. Takes high, 1-0.
Showing some good stuff here. Hustle by Herrera, who's stolen base earlier in the game, set up that inning where we got to 4. Hustle right there for the double, and now we have Segura trying to advance into third. Just don't pull the ball to the left side.
On the out-of-town scoreboard in the National League East, the Nationals are playing interleague baseball against Baltimore. It's 5-4 Washington. Kyle Schwarber's hit his 8th home run. Washington 3.5. I mean, it's tight, and it's going to be that way. It looks. Only one team is over 500. That's the Mets at 21-18. And they're trailing the Marlins 5-0. Good series coming up in Boston. The Braves are going to take on the Red Sox, while the Phillies head down to Miami to take on the Marlins.
Here's where that talk when we went to break about hands inside the ball comes in perfect for this particular at-bat. You keep your hands inside the ball and let the bat head kind of drag, and the ball will go right to right field.
And Jeans actually handles the bat pretty well. Of all the hitters on the Phillies ball club, he actually does have pretty good bat control. Be battling now with 2 strikes. I guess it's a 3-1 count now.
3 balls and 1 strike.
So he's still got some pitches to be able to do it on.
Outside, ball 4, no swings. As Dan Iasonia. I wonder if Alex Cora is going to make a move, because this is the pitches he's thrown, 103. It's the most he's thrown this year. And Cora is heading out to the mound, so he's going to make a pitching change.
And all those pitches that Zach Wheeler racked up on him, and they had a real effect on him. And even though he did settle down, we got him out of the game. Got a chance to score some more runs.
He's responsible for the 2 base runners. Food fight to determine which ballpark food is the best this year. Fill out your bracket and vote for the Phillies at MLB.com/foodfight today. The Fanatic's out in center field. It's as if he's in a petting zoo. Get a chance to see some of the fans, the young fans out in the alley. And the new pitcher for the Boston Red Sox is the veteran of the Japanese professional leagues, Hirokazu Sawamura, in his 16th game with Boston. 3.18 ERA. He was a relief pitcher over in Japan. 33 years, will be 33 in the coming months.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. He's got a kind of a classic fastball split, occasional slider, but he's got that 4-seam rising fastball, and throws a lot of splits, try to get guys out with 2 strikes, and got a pretty darn good arm, throwing it 90 up to 96 with that split at 91, and sometimes it's real tough to distinguish that pitch. He will throw it against righties and lefties, so he's not afraid to throw that split anytime, particularly with 2 strikes.
Red Sox signed him to a 2-year contract with a 3rd-year option.
So are we still guessing fastball after all that?
I think you're looking
pretty good repertoire.
I think you're looking at fastball until you get to 2 strikes and hoping you can make some contact on that split.
Hoskins singled home a run his first time up. Now he throws a slider.
Then he throws him a slider.
What the heck?
Great scouting report. I'm all over it.
He swung at it like he was kind of, like he kind of recognized it as a fast or as a slider.
Another slider.
Wow.
He's allowed.
Splitter, wasn't it? Went straight down.
It said slider on
did it?
Pitch cast.
Yeah, I don't.
Are they always right?
No, they're not always right.
99.9% of the time.
It did look like it had a down. I mean, that's a nasty slider if it is a slider.
And Hoskins strikes out. And 1 out here in the 5th.
Yep, that's a slider right there. And he actually hung that one. Wasn't a good biter right there, and got away with one.
Alec Bohm has scored a run. He's walked. He's also headed to a fielder's choice. Fastball runs up 96 miles an hour. There you go.
I want to watch out for Odubel here. Segura, a little double steal.
I like it. They're up 4 runs.
Oh,
trying to steal another couple.
Yeah, the shortstop. The second baseman is holding him on a little bit, but he's pretty quick to the plate.
Yeah.
1-1. He pitched a lot of games over in Japan. He started when he was 23. Most of his games were with Yamaori. $383 games over in Japan. Closer for a couple years. Shallow center field, playable for Santana. And the runners will go back. 2 outs.
Schmidt, he's thrown a ton of sliders with the right hand. 2 right-handers are facing, but they're all hanging. It's not like they're really tight. He's only thrown like 1 good one. The rest of them have been kind of spinning up there.
Yeah, probably the first pitch, maybe the second pitch to Reese.
Right.
In case you missed it in the first inning, home run number 99 off the bat of Brad Miller.
Yeah, real good at bat by Miller. Gets the 3-2, I guess, and then punches that ball in left field and actually gets it against the grain, right? Against the wind, and
yeah,
hits it out of the ballpark. Huge 3-runner. Hey, if you're going to strike out a lot, you better hit homers.
Well,
I mean, not Brad and himself, but as a team, if you're going to be striking out, you got to hit homers.
7 strikeouts today. The Phillies have struck out toward the top of the league. They've now exceeded last year's strikeout total in less games. Tap or foul. Last year they struck out 480 times, which was tied for 23rd. They were toward the bottom. They weren't really considered a strikeout team a season ago. This year, 482 strikeouts, counting today, in 47 games compared to 60 a year ago.
That's 482 times they had no chance of making anything happen offensively. And I know that's an over-exaggeration, but that's reality. I mean, that's almost 500 at-bats of nothing that's productive. It's a lot.
It's a lot. 0-2.
Got a lot of Amaro-isms going today. If your pitcher goes 0 for 4, you will win. If you strike out, nothing can happen.
You gotta write that stuff down so we don't forget it. We'll have little cue cards.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, if you strike out a lot, you better hit a lot of home runs.
That's a good one.
That's a subset to the other one.
That was me.
Cuts on that pitch right there, that splitter.
Split, yep.
2 strikeouts in the inning. We'll go to the 6th inning. Phillies up 4-0 over the Red Sox. Blue Cross Philly of the Week is once again taking advantage of his opportunity when placed in the Phils lineup. Nick shined again in Dunedin, hitting career home run number 1 and number 2 on the same day, becoming just the 9th Philly all-time to equal the feat. Nick added 4 RBIs on the day as well and is currently among the National League rookie leaders in doubles, hits, and multi-hit games through the first 6 weeks of the season, which is why he's the Philly of the Week again. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Zach Wheeler goes to work here in the top of the 6th inning as he will face Franchy Cordero in a swing and a miss at the first pitch. Cordero struck out his first time up. 8 strikeouts so far for Zach Wheeler in today's ball game. He allowed a bloop single to Kike Hernandez in the first inning in front of Brad Miller. That's it though. Out to right field. It's hooking foul. And it's 0-2.
That's got to be a broken bat. No?
No, I don't think so.
Where could he have hit that ball on that bat for it to go out there so soft, right? On the pull side.
I don't think he swung it hard enough to break it.
And the 0-2. Upstairs. There's that last foul ball. What a birthday celebration. How about that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. The sign says it was his birthday.
He will never forget that moment as long as he lives.
It's pretty apropos. 1-2. Splashes a foul. It's my 10th birthday. Happy birthday, buddy. Mom and Dad don't have to buy any more gifts
just
today.
thinking the same thing.
I want to go to the New Era store. Why? You got a ball. Well, it's one of the few times that he's missed his spot. Knapp wanted it in, and it ran out. He's been that good. That on top of it today.
I mean, again, the ratio of him strikes the balls is just, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, this will be the 60th pitch. He's thrown 46 strikes, 13 balls today. That's it. Cordero's staying alive.
Kind of a tough assignment for Cordero. Doesn't play every day and hasn't got a ton of at bats, and he has to face this guy on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, bright sunshiny Sunday afternoon. It's 2-2.
More of a night game player or a day game player, Schmidt?
Night, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just see the ball better? Did you see under the lights better, or does the glare bother you?
Just the atmosphere.
The routine.
Yeah.
Slide from Rhys Hoskins at the end. 3 unassisted. Join the Phillies in celebrating a year of reading achievements with the Fanatic About Reading Night, Wednesday, June 9th at 7:05. The night kicks off with a pregame ceremony honoring the most improved and outstanding readers of the program. Order discounted tickets now at Phillies.com/themeds. Chavis will pinch hit for the Red Sox. Sawamura is credited with an inning and 2 strikeouts. Wake yourself up coming off the bench at that.
I just felt like you got to come out hacking when you're getting at bats against a guy like this. You don't want anything spinning, and you know you're going to get a pretty good steady diet of fastballs.
Charging is Segura. All right, so ground ball outs now, 2 in a row. And with 2 outs in the 6th, back to the top of the order for Kike Hernandez, the only one with a hit today.
I've seen Bohm throw like 10 balls to the dugout in this game, which leads me to that subject matter that seems to be going around now, and that's that pitchers are using a foreign substance around the league on the ball, and I find that hard to believe that They could be that slick to be able to apply it, get it from somewhere on their glove or the belt or wherever they did back in the old days. But I thought pitchers nowadays all wanted to pitch a clean ball.
And with nothing scuffing it up or anything.
Yeah.
It's true. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Hernandez. Second hit of the day. It ends a string of 17 in a row. Retired by Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, I think it all stems from the tactic of being able to create some spin because the laces are so low on the ball. I mean, you grab a ball today, and as opposed to the ball that you played with, Schmitty, there's no laces on the ball to grip. And, I mean, obviously pitchers are relying on utilizing those laces to spin it. And I think they're just trying to find ways to be able to, whether it's pine tar, whether it's some kind of goo.
So you think there's something to it?
Oh, I do. I think it's real, and I think that they're trying to crack down on it because the technology, just like anything else, is so advanced now. They're coming up with materials that are kind of not detectable.
Okay.
And baseball has come out and said that they're cracking down, but they haven't really divulged if they've caught anybody, if they've warned anybody, anything like that. It's all seemingly internal, it seems.
Well, we know they don't want scratches or nicks on the ball.
Pitchers don't,
which is bizarre, which is the most bizarre thing in the world. I mean, why would you not want that ball to move while it's in the strike zone? I mean, as a hitter, that's the last thing you want to do is have a ball do something that it's not supposed to do in the hitting zone, right? And now you see guys scuff balls, throw them right out.
That's right.
My goodness. I don't get it.
Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, that's a pitch that he is not getting. It's a one pitch, and unfortunately, he should be getting this pitch. He's around the zone, and he's throwing strikes, and that is, for whatever reason, I think it's maybe he just can't see that part of the play. Jeremy Rehak is just not seeing that pitch well.
He just said to the dugout, that ball's up. I didn't think it was up.
No.
I thought maybe he would call it because it was in. 3-1. Here's that previous pitch. Statcast 3D. I guess it was up.
But we had talked about this earlier. It sounds strange, but in a lot of ways, with the way he's throwing today, he almost deserves that pitch. I know he doesn't need any help because he's pitching so well, but Schmitty, back in the day when a guy was that consistent, an umpire would likely give that guy that pitch just because
who he was,
and how consistent he's been this game.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's just what happened.
Well, you earn that. I don't know, that ability to get the little borderline pitch. But the umpire is expecting that pitch to be right, just off the plate or right there, and they get it. I mean, I would say probably, as I said earlier today in the office, 80% of pitches that were borderline for me, I felt went to ball versus strike.
Because you earned that with your reputation.
Rafael Devers, the hitter, after the first walk of the day for Zach Wheeler. First 3-ball count of the day for Wheeler. It's 0-1 to Devers. Devers struck out in the first inning, flied to left field toward the line in his last at bat. One. Pulls a foul. 0-2.
Good old screen down there. I've always said, that's a dangerous area to be on a ball like that.
Yeah, that was a move that they made in Major League Baseball across all stadiums now that I think was really important with the velocity with which these balls are coming off the bat. I know there's some people who are worried about not being able to see the game clearly through some of these screens, but these screens are
pretty thin.
They're pretty thin.
0-2 to Devers. The runners lead off first and second. 4-0 Phillies here in the top of the sixth. He fouls it back into the sweet level, and it remains 0-2.
I think this is the issue we talked about earlier. We had an opportunity, man on first and second, nobody out last inning. Did not move the runners at all, did not score another run, haven't added on, and now you're in a dangerous situation with an excellent hitter hitting.
Yeah.
And even though Wheeler's been pitching really, really well, he's still in a spot where this game could be very, very different in one swing.
And you'll never know it if he strikes him out or gets him out. You'll never even know it. But if the worst could happen, then we'll talk about it at the end of the game.
Right.
75th pitch of the day for Zach Wheeler. Excellent ratio to Rafael Devers. Grounds it foul. It was a slider.
So that's a good two-strike swing right there, going down and getting a piece of that ball. That was a ball that most hitters would swing over and strike out.
Runners lead off first and second. First time today there have been 2 base runners on for the Red Sox. Swing and a foul tip hung on by Knapp, 98 miles an hour. He just challenged him with a 4-seam fastball. And the Red Sox are retired here in the 6th inning. No runs, a hit, 2 men left, 9 strikeouts for Wheeler as we go to the home 6th. Baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by WB Mason. Talk to WB Mason about our selection of PPE, office furniture, and everything else you need to open and keep your office running safely. Who but WB Mason? Phillies are on top 4-0. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. And it's been Zach Wheeler that's taken it and just run with it. It's our Toyota Camry turning points.
Yeah, Zach Wheeler, unbelievable ball to strike ratio today. Established at high 90s fastball, high in the strike zone. They can't hit it. But he has been the big turning point in the game today. Not only that, he has laced a single past shortstop into left field. And those were your Toyota turning points.
Chavis stays in the ball game at second base. Moving from second base to center field is Kike Hernandez. And Matt Andriese is the new pitcher. As we start the bottom of the 6th inning, Andrew Knapp will start it off. He's 0 for 2 today. Phillies have 5 hits this afternoon. 2 big ones coming in the first inning.
Matt Andriese coming from, I guess, the Tampa Bay originally as a starter. Pretty darn good changeup. Throws a lot of them, especially the left-handers. 40% changeups, 40% fastballs, and he'll mix in a curveball and a cutter from time to time, but a little bit of a funky delivery, and the guy throws off your timing a little bit with that high front side.
Fly ball out toward right center field. Renfroe makes the call. 4-seam fastball. And one early out here in the 6th inning. And they'll bring Ronald Torreyes to the plate. Andriese last year pitched for the Angels organization. Ruben mentioned the Rays. He's made his major league debut in 2015 with the Rays. I didn't realize that he started as many games as he did.
Oh, he started a ton of games in 16, I believe, and 17.
Yes, he
when
did.
I was with the Boston Red Sox as a coach, had to do a lot of work on him as far as
a lot of recon.
Yeah, a lot of recon on him. He's pretty effective, I think, in 2016. Had a pretty good year, didn't he?
4.5 ERA. He was 8-8.
It's okay. Just okay.
I think in their world, though, that's good. In the Rays world, having somebody like that. Torreyes takes a changeup and hits it to shortstop. That ball kind of hung up there. 2 quick outs. Wheeler's coming up to the plate. Enjoy a weekend of baseball at Citizens Bank Park when the Nationals come to town. With seating capacity increased to 16,000. Additional tickets have become available. It's the Friday, June 4th is at 7:05. Saturday the 5th is at 4:05. And then Sunday the 6th at 1:05. Visit Phillies.com to purchase. Mike, that's your next game.
I'll be here for that one, yeah. And we have the Ashburn Callis Golf Tournament.
The next
that
day?
Monday.
Yeah. Who's running that, Mike?
Ruben's picking me up in a limo for that
That's
thing
right.
here.
Whoa.
Well, somebody is. I'd be happy to do that. Now we have some great, got
don't
some
need
great
to do
people
that.
coming. We have some great people coming. Some celebrities, as they call them.
1-0 to Wheeler.
Mr. Dan Plesac is even coming down
Is he really?
to join us. Yeah.
He loves golf, so it doesn't surprise me. He's always posting pictures
sure
on
is.
social media about playing 18 or sometimes 27 and then going into the MLB Network studios.
Yeah. He's got to take off and work that night, but he's coming to join us.
Wheeler hits it foul. It's 1-2.
Dave Hollins is going to join us. Mike Quick.
Nice. I haven't seen Dave
How about-
Hollins in a
That's a
while.
big one.
Charlie and Larry.
Charlie and Larry are going to join us.
They're a duo now. The duo of
Oh, yeah.
Charlie and Larry.
Do you know they were down in Ocean City, New Jersey this past week at Frank Koppenbarger?
Yeah.
They talked to his high school baseball players.
They got a new
They were
show
doing a
coming
show.
out too, right?
Yeah, they were doing it. I guess they were doing part of the pilot or something down in Ocean City.
They may be doing some filming at the tournament, believe it or not.
Is it a cooking show? What is it? What kind of show is it?
I think it's a variety show.
Oh, I'm sure it is. 2-2, fouled back.
It's like a locker room.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, how do I say this? It's like we would laugh in a locker room, kind of like
Like in our
getting on
office.
each other. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. I'm actually loving
Telling
Wheeler's at bats.
stories, yeah, really.
It's at my country club, Yardley Country Club in Yardley, PA.
Jeez.
Wow.
So next year we won't get to see Wheeler hit. I understand it.
Well, if they do move that way. 1, 2, 3.
They might DH him.
We played 6. We're going to the 7th inning. The Phillies shutting out the Red Sox. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. The Phillies scored 4 in the first inning. A 3-run home run by Brad Miller was the big blow. RBI single by Rhys Hoskins. And since that time, it's basically been Zach Wheeler's show, and we're just along for the ride. He's gone 6 innings. He has struck out 9. He's allowed 2 hits to Kike Hernandez. His last 3 home starts, I mean, he's been excellent here at Citizens Bank Park for his career. But the last 3 home starts, I mean, look at some of these numbers. I mean, this is staggeringly good. He's averaging 7 innings plus, counting today. And he's working into the 7th here. 9 strikeouts on average. And just 3 hits.
Yeah, he's been everything that the Phillies had hoped he would be when they signed him that big contract. And there's a lot of people talking about, going out there and being so aggressive. But it's always about pitching, Mike. And I always believe that. And this guy has certainly lived up to the hype and lived up to the performance.
Delivers high to Vasquez, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. At one point, Wheeler retired 17 in a row after a leadoff single to start the game. Two and 0. Close. In a little bit. Off the hands, out towards shallow left, and Torreyes runs to a spot, makes the catch. So 1 out.
Wind held that one up, Rube.
It's not blowing the short.
I don't know. It's not how it's not blowing the cotton candy out of that little kid's hand.
You know, there was a time when a guy would go 2-0 and you're up 4 runs and they would just automatically take a strike just to get inning going. I know it's tough to do nowadays, especially with this guy on the mound firing the way he is.
I had that thought when it was 2-0.
It just doesn't happen.
It's the 7th. If it were the 9th for sure, 8th maybe. But he's throwing so good, you hate to just make a hitter take a fastball right down the middle. You know what I mean? Because that's probably what you're almost 100% sure that's the pitch you're going to get.
Right.
That's only the 3rd curveball he's thrown today.
Yeah.
I thought he would throw it more.
I thought he just hasn't needed it. I mean, he's been so dominant with that fastball.
0-2. Outside at 99 miles an hour. Just 99. Pitch distribution. Mentioned 3 curveballs and 44 fastballs.
Yeah, not all that different from what his normal ratios are.
There's a slider. That's 10 strikeouts for Zach Wheeler. It's the 11th time this year, or 11th time in his career, that he has struck out 10. 3rd time this year.
Just a filthy slider right here. Stays on top of it. Nice short. Actually a 2-plane slider. It's not only does it slide it east-west, but it's got some depth to it as well.
You tip your hat every now and then to the pitcher, right?
Yeah.
You go back and just...
Marwin Gonzalez takes on the outside corner. This is rocking chair stuff right now for Wheeler. I mean, he is just easy today. One and one. Two heavy bat through the zone.
I think, excuse me, John, that whole take a strike thing to get a man on base against some pitchers makes sense, but I don't think so against Zach Wheeler. I mean, has he thrown 20 balls yet today?
That's a good point.
He's only at 22. That's it. The 1-2 pitch against Gonzalez, and it hit him right in the arm. Only the 4th base runner.
Boy, that'll give you crazy boner.
That was only what, 97?
Yeah.
He backed off a little bit on that pitch.
Yeah, he did.
He's trying to bury this fastball in right here to try to tie him up and just clips that. Actually,
it hit the
guard.
pad. Yeah.
Oh, it hit his guard.
Guess it pinched a little bit.
Remember Jeff Cooper, don't you?
I remember Jeff Cooper.
You meet Jeff Cooper one time, you'll never forget.
He was not a fan of running out on the
No.
field. No.
He used to make Mark Anderson do the running out on the field.
Jeff Cooper, Mark Anderson were the Phillies athletic trainers for a long time.
Mark Anderson was my bat boy mentor. He didn't like being called a bat boy, bat man. Yeah. Remember?
Your mentor.
He was.
That's funny.
He was.
Wheeler throwing a couple pitches while Marwin Gonzalez gathers himself and goes to first. And here is Bobby Dahlbeck with 2 outs in the 7th inning. And the Phillies up 4-0. Wheeler's allowed 2 hits today, both to Kike Hernandez. Foul ball, and it's 0-1. That got a piece of Jeremy Rioch, the home plate umpire.
Andrew Knapp giving Jeremy a little bit of time here after that contact. Real firm fastball right off the chest. Wow, that, you know, it's not an easy job back there. They take a lot of heat, man, but my goodness. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
What are you supposed to do? It speeds up after it's fouled?
Maybe.
Or slow down?
I don't know.
So I think it speeds up.
I don't know which, but
it depends on how you hit it, but I think it speeds up.
It's hard and it's fast.
Gonzalez leads off first, and it's no balls and 1 strike to Dahlbeck. Wheeler's ready to deal. Just off the plate low, and it's 1-1. Phillips Valdez, he pitched last night for the Red Sox, loosening up again here. One ball and 1 strike. Popped up toward right field. Miller comes running in toward foul territory. Hoskins is over, and Hoskins runs into the signage.
Wind took that one out of play.
The wind just got a hold of that one and just kept whipping it. That's a long run for everybody involved.
Really a great effort, and this ball probably would have ended up in like short right field had there been no wind, but really good effort right here by Rhys Hoskins. Can't quite get there.
Fortunately, those tri-visions are padded at the top because he went into it pretty hard.
Dahlbeck's got a unique sound of that ball coming off his bat. He's a big boy.
Yeah. He's got some serious power.
Wheeler's set to go. And the 1-2.
Well, he drove that one ball to dead center field. It should have been probably a home run. I mean, he's got some serious pop. I mean, it couldn't go against the grain because the wind was blowing so hard. But any other day, that's a way out of here.
Ball.
I'll tell you what, he stayed on that one. I know that ball was up. You know, I understand that, but that was pretty coming from Wheeler and all the fastballs he's been throwing. That ball kind of snapped, and he fouled it off. Call them a hanger all you want when they're being thrown 93 miles an hour and they're breaking a foot and a half.
1-2. Swing and a miss.
Take a little off.
Yeah, he did. A curveball for the 11th strikeout today for Zach Wheeler. He has been absolutely masterful here this afternoon against the Boston Red Sox. In the 7th inning, no runs, no hits, and 1 man left. Here's that last pitch. Great movement.
It's everything coming out of his hand is just exploding. 11 punchies through 7. He's doing it.
Also, 4 runs in the first inning. What does that do for a pitcher of Wheeler's quality?
Oh, it does a lot because obviously you get that lead, and Zach Wheeler, he knows how to pitch for the lead, and it's showing today. I mean, it just takes a little bit, not a little bit, a lot of pressure off of Zach Wheeler, knowing that he doesn't have to be so perfect on every pitch. I mean, 4 runs lead is pretty substantial.
In the post-game program, gentlemen, we'll hear from Joe Girardi, we'll hear from Zach Wheeler, all the principals, in what looks like a pretty good day for the Phillies.
Now, you could have Joel Embiid on the postgame too, Michael, and
yes.
Ben Simmons.
In fact, Ben's about to leave to go get him, and
okay.
and we're going to do a whole MVP segment.
All right, cool. And then Ben's going to try to back him down a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. And also, Ben's going to get. Oh, there's a sick. No, I thought it was. Sorry, son of a gun. Then Ben's going to get Ben Simmons too. It's going to be Ben on Ben.
All right, thank you, boys. We'll see you in the postgame. Ball was scorched out to the middle. The putout goes 4-3. So McCutcheon hits it hard, but is retired. And now Odubel Herrera, we mentioned the Sixers. They're up 8 right now, but I'm not going to tell you where the game is because I don't know if anybody's DVRing it or anything like that. I don't want to give away what's going on, but they're up 8. Could be the first quarter, could be the second quarter.
No, it's the third. It's got to be the third.
Here's Odubel. Odubel doubled his last time. And it's 0-1.
Oh, really? Looking at the TV.
Herrera scored one of those 4 runs in the first. Foul back, and it's 0-2. Last 17 games for Odubel. His on-base percentage, .439. He's got to stabilize that center field position.
Well, it was pretty paltry there for a long time. I mean, what was the batting average? About 0.80 or something like that?
It was down to 0.93 at one point. Down low.
You know what?
What, Mike?
That on-base percentage, I would rather see him concentrate on than getting hits. Getting hits is part of getting on base, but you know, if he established himself as a guy that my job is to set the table, I'm going to get on base. And I think back to Pete, how good he was at just plain getting on base.
And consistently, like that. He sprays it to left.
Nice call.
See, he understands how to do that, which is a beautiful thing. Just got to file that in your memory bank, right? Just keep that in your toolbox.
And where he hits in the lineup, he typically is either in the 2-hole or he's in like the 8-hole, which is same sort of concept, right? Is to try to extend innings if you're in the 8-hole, try to turn the lineup over for the pitcher and that sort of thing. Get on there. I mean, that should definitely be his mentality. And you know, when he was going early in his career, when he was playing well, he was an all-star type player. He was doing that a little more consistently.
Well, that center field position in the month of May is now at .309 batting average wise. The on-base percentage in the month of May is at .392. And that is a total 180 from where it was in the first month of the year.
Love to see a little action, maybe a run and hit or hit and run, or just to try to create another run right here. 5 sounds so much better than 4.
Yeah, get that,
as far as the
get the grand slam out of play.
No doubt.
1-1. Dusty Wathan over in the third base coach's box.
Used to like that play, the run and hit, but I don't know. I think it maybe in this day and age, there's so many hitters that don't want to have to think that much at the plate. Hit and run, you're just swinging basically whatever pitch, trying to make contact, ground ball contact, or the other way, right? Hit behind the runner, and then run and hit is a little different in that if you don't get a pitch to hit to really drive, you take it. I think it gives the hitter a little bit more leeway to just take the pitch.
Yeah, that's drilling down on it. Pretty good right there. Oh, run and hit. Are you saying that the batter gets a high fastball, he should take it? You know, the base runner knows it's a run, so it's a stolen base for the base runner.
Correct. He's running as if it was a stolen base, and he's trying to steal the base regardless of whether the guy is going to swing or not.
Well, that's a big difference.
Yeah, no, there is
from a base runner standpoint.
Absolutely, because in a hit and run situation, he's just trying to create movement and create pressure in the infield to try to have somebody cover one of the bags to open up a space for the hitter. Rarely do you see a run and hit anymore.
I just like the fact that the infielders are moving. They're opening up some space. 1-2 to Segura. Segura today is walked. He's also grounded out and struck out. Phillies with 6 hits now, with Odubel's second of the day.
Probably not backed up, Rube, by analytics.
Oh, absolutely and unequivocally not. Because I think it's just difficult for guys at times to make contact. Back control is not something that is preached all that much anymore.
I remember in the old days, batters used to swing through a pitch on purpose to keep the catcher back.
Correct.
Line drive to left field, and it'll drop for a hit, knocked down by Cordero. He's fortunate that he knocked it down. He used that tall body to make sure he smothered it.
That's a frozen rope right there.
Now is your chance to bid on game day items autographed by your favorite Phillies players, including an Andrew Knapp autographed catcher's mitt and baseball, an Aaron Nola autographed cleats, game used by the way, Rhys Hoskins autographed baseball, and many more items. Download the Ballpark app to view a full list of auction items and place your bids by tomorrow.
Short and quick to the ball, that was Segura. Beautiful hitting.
Yeah, those guys have made it happen towards the top of the lineup today. Those are the guys that have made action happen.
Hoskins is 1 for 2. Got a changeup from Andres and missed it. 0-1.
I don't mind it. Sometimes I think Rhys is far too, I don't want to say, he's not aggressive enough in these kind of at-bats.
So you didn't mind that swing on the first pitch?
No, I know he got fooled a little bit on him. It's probably geared fastball all the way, but nothing wrong with having a reputation of being aggressive. In fact, sometimes it can play well for you. I mean, everybody knows I'm aggressive. I'm an aggressive hitter, and next thing you know, they break and ball you a couple of times, and you're 2-0.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball left side. Gonzalez goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. They're able to get Segura on a fine play. 6-4 on the putout. Over to third, Herrera, fielder's choice.
Good also by Rhys to get down there, keep the inning alive.
Bohm is 0 for 2. He's walked and scored. He reached on a fielder's choice, or the fielder's choice ended the third, and then flied out to center.
It's got a whole lot of space between the first baseman and the second baseman on the right side of the field. And, you know, there was a time when this situation, a first and third situation, that's what you wanted as a hitter, because you'd opened up that side of the field. But now that they're shifting, it even opens up even more now. And there are times when that's just not taken advantage of. I mean, there were a couple great base hits today with Odubel Herrera going to left and even Rhys Hoskins with the big base hit, just putting it in play and driving in a run early. It's another one of those situations. He's got that whole side. He just roll one over there. That's a base hit and an RBI.
Vasquez was laying down some signs just in case somebody tried to steal. He had not allowed anybody to steal in the last 12 games until today. Now the 0-1 just a bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not necessarily do you want your quote-unquote power guys to do that, but if you're not feeling comfortable at the plate and you're just trying to get back on track, not the worst thing in the world to give it a shot over there.
Sometimes you can say, put the hit and run on yourself.
Right.
Yeah. That one's softly up the third baseline.
you know, where you just say, hey, man, I'm just going to treat these next few pitches like I have the hit, or this next pitch anyway, like the hit and run zone, which means I got to hit a ground ball to second base.
And believe me, that RBI and that base hit, that's exactly what it'll look like in the box score.
One and two, contact, right? Need contact. I'd back out of the batter's box right now. Staring at the pitcher way too long.
Runner goes from first, and it's a call. Strike three. Bohm down looking, the ball on the outside part of the plate. Yeah, the Phillies are retired here in the 7th inning. No runs, a couple hits, and 2 men left. We're on to the 8th inning. Phillies up 4-0. By your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And buy Coca-Cola. Together, taste better. 4-0 Phillies on top. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. All right, so Rhys Hoskins roaming a little bit here at first base.
He's been playing a lot better defenses in the last several weeks, and that's a tough play, especially with the wind and the sun today. Slides over to that corner and makes a nice play over the shoulder.
Our Hyundai defensive play of the game brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers, and that ball is drilled. Wow, that's a big fly. That's onto the concourse in right center field, and it's bouncing every which way near Chickies and Pete's. Cordero with his first home run.
Wow,
that was an impressive home run by Cordero.
I'm waiting on some stats on that one.
Well, interestingly, that was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It was almost like a get-it-in-there fastball, and Cordero wasn't waiting around, and he spanked it. He's been late on all of his 98, 97-mile-an-hour fastballs. He throws a 93-mile-an-hour one down there, and down and in into the nitro zone, and he crushes it.
The listed distance is 474 feet on that ball.
Doesn't that rank pretty high?
That's got to.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, it would have gone out of every ballpark in Major League Baseball. I mean, that is.
It almost went out of our ballpark.
That is crazy. Crazy.
Well, on top of that, the wind has shifted again a little bit towards right field instead of in from left field.
Wow.
On top of the fact that he hit it 9 miles.
Yeah, that's an impressive home run. Swing and a miss. That matches his career high in strikeouts. 12 strikeouts for Wheeler. Here comes Joe Girardi. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Alvarado's been warming up in the bullpen. No signal yet. That's it. 98 pitches. Wheeler's going to get a very nice round of applause from the 15,360 here today. The Phillies needed a lift from their starting pitcher, and they got one way over his head. How about this by Frenchie Cordero? It's the 5th longest home run in Major League Baseball this year. Estimated distance is 474 feet. And just watch. I mean, this is as majestic as you will see. It went over. See the needs help? It went over that and then bounced on the concourse by Chickies and Pete's. Look at all the kids. Look at that.
118 miles an hour off the bat. That has to be the highest. Is that the highest of this year?
I'll tell you in a second. What is it? 118? Yeah, that's it. That's the highest.
118.6?
Yeah, it's the highest. It just passed Giancarlo Stanton, which was the highest before that.
Goodness.
That was really impressive. Well, big time power, obviously. All right, so Wheeler's done. Alvarado is in against Kike Hernandez. And Alvarado delivers a strike 0-1. I thought maybe they'd let Wheeler finish this inning. It was only 98 pitches for him. That's nothing. But Joe must have had a plan. Fourth time through. Hernandez does have 2 hits against Wheeler today.
Yeah, I thought that if he was going to come out for the 8th and pitch, I mean, only had 4 pitches in the inning, I believe, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That he would just go ahead and finish the inning, but decided to go ahead and go with Alvarado, and hopefully they can shut the door and get these last several outs.
And Ruben, let's clarify. That's the exit velocity height. Exit velocity power is the highest on a home run. There have been singles that have been a little higher.
Got it.
StatCast just wanted us to clarify that.
Thank you, StatCast.
Ground ball to third. Bohm gets his bearings, throws him out, 2 away. Hey, congratulations to the Philadelphia 76ers. They just took care of the Washington Wizards in Game 1. And it's your last chance to win 2 tickets to a Sixers first round game. Head to our social media channels now for your chance.
Good play by Alec over there. Ball was a shot. Stayed down. Watched it into the glove. Did everything correct. Sometimes the routine plays are the hardest.
Yeah. Especially late in the game, right?
Yeah.
When you need those, you got to have those outs. Kevin Plawecki coming in here to pinch hit for Danny Santana.
And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Yes, he did. Oh, I'm sorry, in the pitcher spot. Then it did a double switch, I guess. Yeah.
You don't have your lineup card in your back pocket, Ruben?
No, I don't use those things. What's the lineup card?
1 ball and 1 strike. Popped up foul to our right. One and 2.
That's not the first mistake I'll ever make, Tom.
It's a long game.
Or have ever made.
Mistakes are going to happen. It's a long game. And there's a lot of changes in these National League games. 1-2 pitch coming. Ground ball toward third. Waiting for it is Bohm. Shuffled his feet a little bit. Had the catcher running, so it was, or backup catcher, so he had a little extra time. Nice job by Alvarado. He comes in and picks up for Zach Wheeler. A run on a home run, a really long home run for Cordero. Middle of the 8th, it's 4-1 Phils. Well, the day is going to get better when this one's all over. You could pop yourselves a Yuengling Raging Eagle Mango. Some have already done it today here at the ballpark. You might be able to pop some Hers chips with it. Our Hers upcoming pitchers tomorrow in Miami. Zach Eflin and Trevor Rogers will go at it again for a second time in a week. Tuesday, Vince Velasquez against Sandy Alcantara. Wednesday, Aaron Nola will pitch against the dreaded TBD. And then Thursday, a day game, Spencer Howard, his second start against Pablo Lopez. Hopefully Spencer's endurance will be up a little bit more for that game on Thursday, since according to Spencer, it really wasn't yesterday into the 3rd inning. Brad Miller will lead it off against Phillips Valdez. Get a check swing, foul ball, 0-1.
Wow, is this guy lean? I wonder if the wind will blow him off the mound.
You know, he reminds me of
Holy moly.
the body type and even the way he throws is Miguel Castro from the Mets.
Yep. Good call.
You know, he has the same changeup.
Yep. Slinging action.
Outside.
It's what you call a loose arm.
One and two. And it's out of play. It remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hector Neris in the bullpen. I wasn't sure if Hector would be available today after pitching last night. Phillies really needed him last night to try to keep that game where it was. Way outside, 2-2. It'll be Miller, then Knapp to Reyes. They head toward the bottom of the Phillies order. Pitcher's spot is due up 4th. And a base hit to center field for Miller. He's taking a big turn around first. He'll hold up there. And he's got his second hit of the day.
Worked that count to 3-2 and hit a rope. There you see it. Nice and level through the hitting area. Good hustle to first base. Big turn. Keep the pressure on.
And a nice job of staying on a 3-2 changeup right there. It wasn't an easy pitch to stay on, and they stayed on it, barreled it up really well through the middle.
Takes low, 1-0.
Valdez actually throws 64% changeups. That's been his pitch distribution this year so far. 64% and 28% fastball.
Outside, 2-0, and now time is called.
That's a trip to the mound.
They got plenty left, though. Nobody's visited anybody. There was no reason to visit Wheeler today. Wheeler goes 7 1/3, 3 hits, 12 strikeouts, 1 run. He joined Shane Bieber as the only pitchers this season with back-to-back 7 innings plus and 10 strikeouts plus games. Joe Girardi needed his starter to give him a boost, and he certainly did.
A little hit and run right here, Rube.
I like it.
2-0 pitch coming. On the inside corner, according to the home plate umpire, it's 2-1.
We're here.
He'd have hit that one foul.
He just said that's a ball. You might be right about that.
That did not look like a strike.
He bunts up the first base line. It's a good bunt, and he's going to be safe. Phillips Valdez rushed when he sensed Knapp's zipping by him.
And I think this is a really good play and a real selfless play. Moves the runner. It will probably go down as a sacrifice and a error, I believe. I'm not sure if they'll actually give him an error on this ball, but really a nice job of trying to get that extra run, get the Miller down to second base, an extra 90 feet.
Absolutely. I might have done it right from the get-go. Because that is a big run. The one at second.
So now is Torreyes doing the same thing here?
I would.
With Matt Joyce out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Archie Bradley joins Hector Neris. I guess if this is not a save situation, Torreyes takes inside.
Yeah, I like it because you got Joyce coming up. There's nobody throwing in the bullpen, no lefty coming up, and he's going to be facing this guy. So anytime you get extra runs here very late in the game, I like this play.
1 ball and no strikes. It's a foul ball, unfortunately, and it really.
I heard it hit the bat.
Yeah. Fortunately, it hit the bat and not. Ronald Torreyes. Hit the knob of the bat.
The knob. And then it hit his hand, I think.
Well, he's lucky, though, to hit the knob.
Oh, it hit his elbow and his knee.
And the catcher.
What did it not hit?
Really?
That's kind of a weird pitch right there, you know. I mean, weird in the sense that how could he miss that far inside?
Well, there are a lot of throwers out there instead of pitchers right now, Mike.
Well,
I mean, they're firing. Now, his
in this particular situation is what I'm talking about.
I mean, they are taught to kind of throw the ball up in the zone to try to get the guy to pop it up, but that was way off the plate.
And now a time is called because they're changing the play defensively. Hey, just to clean up the Andrew Knapp ball, sacrifice E1.
Right.
Which is what you had said, Ruben. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Torreyes.
I got one right. Batting 500.
Not sure what Vasquez is saying to the home plate umpire. Winner's pinch. Ball is up and in. It's 2-1. Rafael Devers just fell to the ground over at third.
Some snipers all over the place.
It's weird.
Here we go. Take a look.
Whoop, tries to put the brakes on, and down he goes.
Now, this is what baseball bloopers are made of. Isn't it?
And he butts it
Perfectly.
to the right side. Sacrifice is successful.
Tell you what, that was a rough at bat, but good job.
1-3 on the putout at first base.
And that's one of the reasons why Joe Girardi loves this guy, because he can do the little things that are necessary. As a role player off the bench, all you want that guy to be able to do is just to do exactly what Ronnie Torreyes did just there. Make the routine play when you're out there defensively, and if you come up with a big base hit or driving a run or move a runner like you did just there with a bunt, that's all you can ask for from the guys who are coming off the bench.
And he said, I just don't have to worry about him. And they're going to walk Matt Joyce intentionally. Joyce is 0 for his last 21. And they're going to walk him intentionally to face Andrew McCutchen. They're trying to get the force anywhere. So Kutch with a chance to drive in some runs here. Kutch is 0 for 4. Hit the ball hard his last time up the middle. If he hits that same ball right now, he'll either take Andrew Knapp out or he'll get a 2-run single.
Well, let's hope he doesn't take Andrew Knapp out
That's
because
true.
the man on third has to go back.
He hit it that hard last time.
Yeah, I think Ruben just pointed to right field. I think Kutch is trying to stay up the middle, hit the ball the opposite way. The only thing you need to prevent is a rollover ground ball to the third baseman or a ball back to the pitcher, but you still want to stay in the middle of the field. Like that.
Fly ball center field. Tagging at third is Miller. Coming in is Hernandez. He'll let it fly. Going to the plate. Not in time. It's a sacrifice fly. Second run of the day for Miller. 20th RBI of the year for McCutchen. It's 5-1 Phillies.
Yeah, Mike made just the right call right here. That's all he was trying to do is use the middle of the field, and that's excellent situational hitting. We've seen it actually all game today, and that's one of the reasons why the Phillies have a really good chance of winning this game. Kutch stays in the middle of the field, hits that fly ball sac fly deep enough to score Miller and back up to that 4-run lead. Some nice small, quote-unquote, small ball by the boys today.
Or ABC.
I think they've looked good doing that today at times. And now Herrera, who has 2 hits. He's 2 for 3. Hit by a pitch his first time up and then stole second. That was big. Knapp's over at third. He went to third on that fly ball to center field. This is over at first. Just a bit outside, 2-0. Marlins have beat the Mets 5-1. Poteet gets the win. He's 2-0. 7 scoreless for him. He retired the last 14 he faced. He also got his first major league hit and RBI. Phillies can gain a game on the Mets with a victory here. Braves have defeated the Pirates 7-1. Phillies will still be tied with the Braves if they can win here. Two and one. Line drive left field. Cordero's not going to get it. It's going to go to the wall. One is in. Joyce will be held at third. RBI double for Odubel Herrera. 6-1. Phillies on top. How about a 3-hit day for Herrera?
I guess he put that left field line into his toolbox like we talked about, Ruben. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
level hack.
Yeah, he stays right on that pitch. He doesn't try to do too much with it. Just drives it the other way. And doesn't have to necessarily hit it where it's pitched, but he's using his hands to hit. He's getting the barrel to the ball, and that's just a really nice job of hitting and just barreling the ball up and giving what that guy, taking what that guy gives you. He's throwing a lot of change-ups. He stayed right on that pitch, drove it to left for the big double.
And nobody in the Red Sox bullpen, so it looks like.
Yeah, it's his game.
Andreas, is it?
This is Phillips Valdez.
Oh, Valdez. Looks like Valdez is going to have to get him out himself.
It's almost like Cora's conceding on this one. I hope that's the case.
Swing foul ball.
I never never did that as a bat boy.
Come on, you didn't?
Not one time. Torito. El Torito.
El Torito. Joe Girardi's headed out. He's going to check and see if Segura's okay. Segura did something on that last swing.
We got to follow him around now, I guess. Huh.
Well, it did look like he was bothered by something, so. Out toward right field, toward the corner, slicing foul. He looked okay there.
Again, it's obvious that these hitters know that he's going to throw a lot of changeups. They're trying to stay on the ball as long as they can, and I really like the approach that both Odubel Herrera and Gene Segura have had today. They've made some things happen. They're trying to put the ball in play. A little good little bat control. They've done some of the small things that are necessary to win ball games.
With 2 to Segura. Way outside, went all the way back to the screen. Uh-oh, Joyce is caught. They throw to third, and now he's in a rundown. That is a tough play for a base runner to see. John Vukovic used to say when balls, and some of these new ballparks would go all the way back to the screen like that, he said it would scare the heck out of him as the third base coach because they would shoot right back to the catcher. Phillies do get a couple, though. We'll go to the ninth, up 5. Game at Citizens Bank Park. Reserve a private and catered suite for 10 to 20 people for select games. Offer available while supplies last. Book today at Phillies.com. Phillies are up 6-1 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. There are those suites. Awesome way to hang out and watch a game. Archie Bradley's warming up out on the mound, and he will take over here in the 9th inning. Joyce stays in the ballgame to play right field. Archie Bradley is going to take over here. By the way, Mark Gola, the fine official score for the Phillies today, has changed Andrew Knapp's bunt to a base hit.
No, another mistake for me.
That's why you have to have white out.
0 for 2. I got it.
Can't argue with the wheels of Andrew Knapp. Plus, he needed that hit, too. So here is Devers to start it off, and he takes outside. It's 1-0.
Was that an off-speed pitch with a 5-run lead?
Yeah, it was. No good, huh?
Just throw it down the middle.
There you go.
Just
what it was.
Just fire. Just throw him 12 straight fastballs.
Out to left field. McCutcheon's going back, and it is.
You got to be kidding me. I thought Kutch was under that.
13 home runs for Devers. That ball got out of here in a hurry. 6-2 ball game. Those 2 runs are big. This team can hit some home runs. It's their 65th of the year.
I'll take that back. Let's start mixing in some breaking balls. So much for the fastball.
Fastball that was supposed to be in. It drifts back over towards the middle of the plate. And that young man's got some bat speed for
Sure
you.
does. So here is Vasquez, who is 0 for 3. And he takes the fastball 0-1.
It's off the wall at Fenway, right?
Off the wall at Fenway.
Yes.
He might have went through the wall at Fenway. That laundry cart thing that they do after home runs was started by Kevin Plawecki. So if you've watched any of the Red Sox games over the last couple weeks, it doesn't matter where they are, including the tight quarters of Dunedin. That's what they do.
What they don't come up with, huh?
What they don't come up with. Team unity.
I actually saw a coach piggybacking somebody across the. Is that a Washington Nationals?
It might have been.
What in the world?
Ball's pulled foul. Every time a Phillies pitcher records a pitch of 95 or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia.
All kidding aside, this is really important for Archie Bradley to get back on track because he's going to be an important part of this back end of this bullpen. And he hasn't had an opportunity to pitch a lot lately, and coming off a long break with that oblique issue, and they got to get him going. He's a much better pitcher than he's thrown yet, and I think he's still trying to get his sea legs underneath him.
I would agree with that. That's why I don't think this is a bad spot for him.
Yep.
So he had a 5-run lead. Hunter Renfroe, the hitter, he's 0 for 3. Last year with the Rays, he hit 156 at 8 home runs. This year he's at 221 with 5 home runs. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Tomorrow night we're on just a little earlier, 6:30. Phillies and the Marlins.
It's a time change they're doing in Miami now. Almost all those games are at 6:30.
It does seem that way. They start at 6:40. The Braves start at 7:40. It's kind of weird. 1-1 pitch. What's even stranger is the Phillies have a Friday off.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Yeah.
It's a scheduled off day on Friday.
It's unusual. Very unusual.
Just the way the 2-game series work out. It's the first of a couple they have this year. 3-1. Big swing. It's 3-2. So he walks him with 1 out. And Marwin Gonzalez, the hitter. We're not there yet, but Joe Girardi might be close to bringing Hector in. Even though it's not a safe situation yet. Alex Verdugo is going to pinch hit. He's been battling a tight hamstring. Started game 1 and scored on a ball to left field. And he said he felt it as he was coming around the third base bag.
That was part of that real funky play where the ball was cut off, and I think it was the right thing to do. I don't think the would have been maybe a close play at home plate. I do not believe so.
I don't think it was.
But then Bohm cut it off and unfortunately threw it away, and Gene Segura was left sprawled between second and third.
I went back and watched that play because Joe was asked about it in the postgame, and Joe said that Alex should have let it go. I thought the only way they might have had a play at the plate, if they did, is if Alec Bohm had caught it and then fired to home, because I thought the ball was losing steam.
Yeah, it was on its arc down almost. So he did throw it from pretty deep in left field.
0-2.
It depends on the exchange between Bohm and the catcher. It has to be really quick.
It would have to be quick.
You know, with catchers not able to block the plate like they used to be able to do. It's
very true.
Part of it.
That's a good point, Mike. Really good point.
No balls, 2 strikes. Verdugo at 299. Ground ball right side. He might be able to turn two. There's one. Torres' throw is high off the glove of Hoskins. And Verdugo will get second base. Torres will be charged with an error after the fielder's choice. He probably had another beat or two because of the hamstring tightness.
Yeah, Verdugo was not running well at all down the line. You could see, even after one of the swings, he was kind of limping around, and he had much more time than I think he thought of. Just got underneath the throw, unfortunately, and threw it away. Pretty clean game until that play right there.
So Dahlback will bat. He's 0 for 3. Zach Wheeler 7 to the third today. 3 hits and a run, 12 strikeouts for the Phillies. Jose Alvarado then got the last couple outs in the 8th inning. And now it's Archie Bradley trying to finish off the final game of this series. Phillies are trying to bookend this homestand with wins. Off the hands, 0-2. Nine-game road trip is beckoning for the Phils. Gotta get one more out here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Bradley set to go. The pitch. Dropped by Andrew Knapp off the outside corner. It's 1-2. Phillies with 6 runs on 10 hits. The Red Sox 2 runs on 4 hits. $15,000 and change, and the 1-2. High, 2-2. And the pitch coming. A towering pop-up. Third base line. Knapp is there. Bohm is there. Bohm makes the call, and it goes right past his hand. I don't know if Alec must have called Andrew Knapp off, or he felt him coming. It is Bohm's ball, but he's got to catch it.
Yeah, this is a major league pop-up. I mean, he hit this ball up there, probably hung up there for about 8.5 seconds or so.
Not to mention, Bohm got hit by the mask, I think.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
A lot of the times, those guys are calling at the same time. They can't hear each other. But you're right, Tom. That is Alec Bohm's ball, and he should have called it as early as possible. He may have been doing it with the crowd getting involved and such. They may not have been able to hear him.
As soon as Knapp hears Bohm call, he's got to get out of there.
Yeah.
E5, by the way. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball back toward the middle. Segura is there. The second baseman throws over to first in time. And the ball game is over. The Phillies salvage a 3-game series. They win it 6-2. They head off on this road trip at least with a victory against the Red Sox in their back pocket. A run does score in the inning on the home run by Rafael Devers. Now the Red Sox leave 1. Odubel Herrera had a big day today for the Phillies offensively. Scored a run in the first, had a stolen base, 3 hits. His last 3 at-bats. Rhys Hoskins had an RBI single. Our Chevrolet player of the game, though, was Zach Wheeler. Just brilliant today. 98 pitches, 12 strikeouts for the Phillies.
Yeah, T-Mac just dominant with his fastball again, and I thought he'd be using a lot more breaking pitches against this club, but he didn't need it. He was throwing that fastball 98, 97 miles an hour and just dominating with it. It's one of the best fastballs in all the game, and that was a huge win for the Phillies. And he's become their ace with the way he's been pitching.
Our W. Mason delivery of the game. We go back to the first inning.
Yep, ran a 3-2 count on the left-hander and shot it up into the wind. Gets over in the left field corner for a 3-run home run. The biggest blow of the offensive part of the game for sure. And he had another double later in the game.
Yeah, Brad has been an excellent re-pickup for the Phillies. After being with the Cardinals last year, he was excellent 2 years ago for the Phils and has really been a huge boost for the Phils. Brad, I can't even say off the bench anymore because you're playing so much, but congratulations on that first inning home run. That has to feel good when you, hit a home run, but to go the opposite way like that.
Yeah, that's something, haven't done it as much as I've wanted to, using the whole field. So with 2 outs there, 3-2 count, you get a good guy like that on the ropes. I think you got to try to capitalize. So that felt nice to start us off there.
Hey, Brad, it's Ruben. I was wondering, what kind of things do you do to keep yourself ready and to keep yourself engaged? Because you're not playing every day necessarily. Maybe you should be, but because you're swinging the bat so well. To play the different positions, et cetera, et cetera. Have you been working on all at third base, left field, right field? Have you been all over the place?
Yeah, I think, as you know, from our time we got to spend together at first and coaching first, I just kind of talk a lot. I talk a ton, try to stay engaged. This game's crazy. You never really know when your name's going to get called, but I just try to tell Joe and Tom's, I'm ready for anything. Throw me anywhere. I'm going to prepare and come to the field to work and then be ready to kind of jump in there and take it and run with it.
Hey, Brad, Mike Schmidt here. Love a hitter that has no idea where the ball's gone when he hits it. It's a great thing. Good hitters use the entire field, and I think that's great. You've been that kind of a hitter your whole career where you just spray it all over the place?
Thank you, Mike. I think I've always used the whole field a little bit more comfortable going the other way, but just recently I think as my career has progressed and I've kind of figured out how to use my body correctly, those singles the other way now can turn into doubles and triples and homers. So I think that's something I'm really trying to do. I haven't done it perfect this year, but I want to stay on balance and I want to drive the ball the other way and good things happen, like you said, when you're using the whole field.
Tell your teammates there's a lot of hits the other way. There was a couple of big ones in the game today by left-handers for sure. You and Odubel.
Yep, and Rhys, getting us going too.
Yeah,
spraying
true,
one
right.
the other way. That guy can definitely lead the field the whole, anywhere. So, as you know, if you want to be a good hitter and hit in clutch situations with guys on base, you gotta go the other way.
That's a very good point. All of our offense came from hits to the opposite field today.
Love it.
Hey, Brad, big picture, last question. How big was this win just after the last few days?
Huge. You guys know we've been battling. We've been grinding. It's been hard. We're playing. Obviously, it's the big leagues. There's no easy games. And I feel like this team, Boston, the way they swing it, you got to come out early and then you got to stay on them. So really happy with our performance today.
Hey, man, congratulations and have a good road trip. We'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad Miller, our guest. The Phillies win it 6-2. They take the final game of this 3-game series. So the Sixers win, the Phillies win. That means the entire city wins. We'll wrap it up right after this.